started with nothing in humble beginnings. They wanna fuck with me now cause I'm winning. Chasing this chicken cause I'm on a mission. I'm known for get money and standing on business. Chasing this chicken, I ran up a ticket. Chasing this chicken, I ran up a ticket. Chasing this chicken, I ran up a ticket. Keep that shit coming, they know how we living. Come from the struggle, got lost in the hustle. Straight out the mud, no, I compliment couples. Chasing big bills just to keep this shit subtle. You ain't on my team if you wasn't in the huddle. Chasing this chicken, I ran up a ticket. Chasing this chicken, I ran up a ticket. Chasing this chicken, I ran up a ticket. Keep that shit coming, they know that I'm with it. I fit the description, I'm the definition. I'm what they prescribe like she seen a physician. She wanna ride cause she seen how we getting it. Big old booty, she my passenger princess. She like to argue, she don't like to listen. She bougie and toxic, she fine and she picky. Pretty and sedated, she get recognition. Matching nails and toes, man, she always French tip 'em. Parking lot pimping when we in the city. Don't ask her about twine, she twerk on the engine. She eat the dick in the car cause it's tennis. She pay me attention like she get commission. Pimpin' CEO, so I give her the business. She ride on the dick like she doing some fitness. She make the dick disappear like she magician. She like to swallow, man, she love when I finish. Having motion, man, you know I got plenty. Bitches choosing cause they know that I'm winning. See some thousands, now I'm after some millions. So all my houses come with chandelier ceilings. Pillow talking, man, that shit just ain't in me. Keep it pimpin', I can't do no pretending. Jealous hearted, man, you know I ain't with it. Cuffin' hoes, I can't do no commit. No, we started with nothing in humble beginnings. They wanna fuck with me now cause I'm winning. Chasing this chicken cause I'm on a mission. I'm known for get money and standing on business. Chasing this chicken, I ran up a ticket. Chasing this chicken, I ran up a ticket. Chasing this chicken, I ran up a ticket. Keep that shit coming, they know how we living. Come from the struggle, got lost in the hustle. Straight out the mud, no, I compliment couples. Chasing big bills just to keep this shit subtle. You ain't on my team if you wasn't in the huddle. Chasing this chicken, I ran up a ticket. Chasing this chicken, I ran up a ticket. Chasing this chicken, I ran up a ticket. Keep that shit coming, they know that I'm with it.
I'm a saint, but I sin. I checked in the game to win. I left, she loving me again. I let her cry out the bins and they say time heal. Mine still felt like it was yesterday. How we're moving fast, probably too fast to even catch the play. Spend a night, she pack a bag, right to me, just getting gas. Coming back, I want it bad. I'ma touch it first, eat it last, it's temporary. Holly damn emotion said it's temporary. My pain deeper than the ocean. Temporary feelings mixed with temporary pleasures. All these temporary moments and these temporary treasures. Temporary circumstances to temporary measures. Temporary friends and even temporary schedules. Temporary smiles and temporary goals. Temporary women sliding on temporary poles. Temporary comments and temporary trolls. I just pray that God bless me. Ain't no temporary souls. I'm a saint, but I sin. I checked in the game to win. I left, she loving me again. I let her cry out the bins and they say time heal. Mine still felt like it was yesterday. How we're moving fast, probably too fast to even catch the play. Spend a night, she pack a bag, right to me, just getting gas. Coming back, I want it bad. I'ma touch it first, eat it last, it's temporary. Holly damn emotion said it's temporary. My pain deeper than the ocean. Oh man, double tap the screen, shut a live out chat. Let's get the likes up here. Hold on, where's the tag?
Welcome to the greatest damn show on YouTube.
There we go.
Welcome to the greatest damn show on YouTube.
Oh man, double tap the screen, shut a live out. What we doing tonight, chat? Double tap the screen, shut a live out. What we doing tonight, chat? They saying Trump is all in on ending birthright citizenship. We got Chud getting exposed and GTA 6 will permanently ruin lives. Double tap the screen, shut a live out, chat. We got an action-packed episode. We're going to get into that GTA 6 talk. Also, we got a 7-year-old that was 255 pounds that was unalived and the parents were charged with second degree. Also, we have Texas down there pushing the Bible into schools. How do y'all feel about Texas pushing the Bible into the school curriculum? We got Stephen Miller's uncle coming out saying that had it not been for immigration, Stephen Miller wouldn't even exist. He wouldn't even be in, not only would he not be in America, he might not even exist. A trans woman has come forward alleging that she dated Chud the Builder in 2015 and released photos of them kissing alongside leaked messages. All right, we're going to hear from Stephen Miller and on the Birthright Citizenship. Also, the U.S. struck Iran after ships attacked in the Strait of Hormuz. Judge finds that Todd Blanche has conceded that he is violating the law and must unredact certain documents regarding the Epstein files or justify those redactments. We got a couple miscellaneous clips. Also, CZ Binance thinks that the Bitcoin community should give Satoshi a 12-month window to move his coins before a quantum upgrade and freeze them permanently if they don't move. Also, we got a couple more miscellaneous clips, man, and we'll probably look at that Tucker Carlson interview Trump's media guy. Tucker Carlson interviewed Trump's media guy. Everyone double tap the screen, shut a live out. We're gonna, I know I'm running a little late, but we're gonna get into the episode, man.
Question.
Paragraph. Nah, my name's
right.
D. My name's Danae or D, whatever. So my question is, so I recently was in a relationship. We separated. The reason for the separation, so my ex, she texts me in the middle of the night, mind you, we're in the same household. She texts me in the middle of the night saying, hey, I'm going to pick up my friend Elijah, who she worked with, from a bar because he's drunk. Mind you, we're in the same household. I get a text, I'm asleep. So a couple hours later, I get another text. I see the
So she's saying that she has a girl. What's up, Tony? What's up, Shell? She has a girl. The girl texted her while she was asleep and said, hey, I'm leaving the house and going to pick up my drunk coworker from the bar. How do y'all feel about that? Would you let your significant other text you while y'all are in the same house and leave and go pick up their drunk coworker from the bar? She did not shake her and wake her up. She didn't say, hey, I'm leaving. She simply sent the text message and walked out of the door. How do y'all feel about that, chat?
this later on. 20 minutes away from home, I'll be there. So in my head, I'm like, a normal person would go and say, hey, my friend at the bar.
What's up, Karen?
I'm going to go pick him up. He's drunk. You're a female. You're going to a bar to pick up somebody who's drunk. You don't know what you're walking into. She don't feel like she's wrong for not waking me up or texting me or doing anything like that. And I said, put yourself in my shoes. How would you feel? And still to this day, she say, I'll do it again. If somebody, prior to this, I don't know this guy, Elijah. Prior to this, FaceTime calls.
So she's saying that I'm such a good friend, regardless of my relationship, you can call me and I will come pick you up so you do not have to call an Uber or drive home intoxicated. And she said, went so far as to say, I'll do it again. Crazy.
Off to the side. Usually she talk in front of me, in front of her friends. You go to the room. Like, so I flip out. I left. I did what you did. Okay. I left. All right. Because I feel like, hey, if you're in a committed relationship, something like that, you should be able to come to me and say, hey, yes, I need your help.
Right.
Is she, my bad, I didn't want to interrupt your story. Is she, I don't know how to ask this.
No.
Is she, no. Is she gay?
Yes, she's gay. So,
okay.
Listen. And I told her, she was like, you know, I'm not interested in him. I said, but you don't know what his intentions are.
Listen. First of all, if you and your old lady in the same house, I don't care if you waking up to go pick your mama up.
Right.
You wake me up because we about to go ride to get your mama together. There's
Facts.
no way that, and
Facts.
it ain't even about control. Again, it's about if it's in the middle of the night and you going to the club and I really don't know what's happening
in the morning.
Yeah,
Then get
like
back
no,
to
if you know all of that.
Man, they trying to sugarcoat this shit and dress it up, man. It's some rules and regulations. It's some structure in this motherfucker, man. What do you mean you finna text me and walk out the damn door to go pick up dude, your drunk coworker, man? It's some rules and regulations, man. Move in with that nigga, man. I'm not finna sugarcoat this shit, Chad. I'm not finna sugarcoat this shit, man. The fuck's going
by
on?
Itself, it's very sneaky, right? And then you texted me when you could have woke me up, all of that. So like, what I'm getting to is if you already left, what's the question?
Right.
Or hold on. First of all, one more contextual question. Are you a hard sleeper?
Don't follow him up, man. Don't do it. Don't follow him up, man. What's the question? What's the question?
Very early in the morning.
If it was my sister, listen, man, I don't care who it was. You wake the house up. You wake the house. I don't want to hear, the kids were sleeping. I didn't want, hey, man, listen, you wake the house up. Straight up, man. All of it, no, hell no. No, I'm not with it, next. I'm not with it at all. That shit is crazy, man. Now, what if she goes out, picks this man up, and it was a setup from the beginning? He unalives her. Unalives her. Now, you're going to have that on your conscience for the rest of your life. You're going to wake up to see that text message, I went to pick up my coat. Hell no. No, it's some structure, it's some rules, it's some regulations, man. I'm not even going to dress that shit up. It's disrespectful. Fuck what could happen. It's disrespectful. Don't do that shit.
Was being considerate.
What's up, Travis?
Focus on the game. Focus on the game.
I got you.
Listen, don't talk to them. What? Focus on the game. What is the question? What are you asking right now?
I think she's asking us to confirm if she's cheating, because that could be the only question she has, right?
Or doing something.
Listen,
cheating, whatever.
Listen, I'm gonna say this to you, right? You don't know which way that is going. If there's no proof to say that she did this or she did that, and the only thing that you're going by is what it was that you felt, how she handled that situation, again, you can leave a person based on how you feel, period. I don't like the way that you moved. Period. I'm not interested.
What's up, Ivan? Yes, it's disrespect off the top. You don't respect anything in this household. For one, your ass leaving to go pick up a coworker. Hey, all of that, the coworker could have called a damn Uber. It's 2026. You could have sent him some money for an Uber if he was a little short changed, man. I don't know. Second, your ass is not gonna wake me up. You bypassed waking me up and saying, hey, because for a reason. Because you knew either the person would want to go with you or that they would be against it. So you was moving wrong from the jump by not waking them up because you knew that it would be some pushback. So to circumvent that and still maintain a sense of, I guess, integrity, you sent the text message. Like, hey, I'm going to pick up my friend from the bar. You're gone for 2 hours. Then you text 2 hours later like, hey, I'm 20 minutes away from the house. She wakes up to all of this. Crazy. Crazy.
And being in a relationship with a person that behaves this way, period. You don't have to have a paragraph, a whole breakdown of why you on your way out the door. You have to leave them, right?
I say
you
this,
have to know how to issue people the gift of goodbye.
True.
Period.
I say this. I say that the problem is not in like the mistake per se. It's the lack of disregard when you said I'm not comfortable with it.
She said I'll do it again.
Yeah, I'll do it again. It's crazy. Like, because now
Dan said I'd do it again. Ain't no way. Listen, chat, I'm not gonna lie. It ain't a woman on this earth can talk to me crazy like that. Do some wild shit and then tell me you would do it again. It ain't a woman on earth. I don't give a fuck who it is, bro. I don't give a fuck who it is.
Yeah.
My partner done expressed, hey, I'm not comfortable with this situation, because who knows how she was moving in her last relationship.
Yeah.
Her last partner might have been like, okay, hey, I don't get enough rest. I sleep hard, as bro said. Don't wake me up, work early. Go ahead and do your thing. Come on back. But with you like, nah, I want to be involved in those type of decision makings. And which I get 100% because it's a safety issue. We talking about 3 o'clock in the morning, going to the club. It's a bunch of drug niggas out there. Who knows what's going to be
And
what.
she was gone for a couple hours.
Yeah.
Right. And then text you back and say, I'm still 20 minutes away.
And why didn't nobody ask how far away was the club? You gone for 2 hours before you even send a text to say you're 20 minutes away. Who's to say that you even came in 20 minutes later? You'd sleep through the whole damn night. How far away was the club? How far away was that? Was the club 10 minutes away? She was gone for 2.5, 3 hours? Was the club 20 minutes away? I don't know. That's a question the panel need to be asking her.
On top of the hour.
And you text, and I'm gonna tell you this as well. Like, especially with dealing with women, one thing is, I don't know how you be doing stuff, but I don't play like that.
So I did some detective work.
It was Elijah.
Yeah, so you did
Erica.
the right thing. So you ain't gotta, like, you know what I'm saying? If you asking a question to see, like, if I overreacted or if I did too much by leaving, no, you did exactly what you needed to do.
I gotta
That's it.
I want to let you get yours out because I don't want to interrupt your flow. Go ahead.
So, do you still love her?
I do. We've been together for almost, mind you, before this, we had little ups and downs, almost 7 years.
Yeah, so what you...
Oh, she's ready to leave. At 7 years, she leaves the house at 2, 3 in the morning, is gone for 2, 3 hours to pick up a drunk coworker and shit. Oh, and then told you she'd do it again. That means she don't give a fuck if you leave her, man. She's ready to test the waters, man. She's got her big toe in the water trying to see if it's a little lukewarm or cold in that motherfucker, man. And she's trying to see if it's a little lukewarm or cold in that motherfucker, man.
What you suffering is called cognitive dissonance. Like, so one part of you is based on principle, and the other part is emotional. You still love her.
Mm-hmm.
And what if she did absolutely nothing? And what if her pushback is she doesn't like...
What is it good for? Absolutely nothing. Every time I hear somebody say absolutely nothing, it's like a little trigger goes off. I don't know, Chad. It's crazy. I guess it's rush hour. I think rush hour might have fucked me up.
If you trust me unconditionally, right? If I'm not going to do anything, why do you have to put tabs on me?
So
right?
Can I say something?
Yeah.
So maybe a couple of weeks before that, she switched night shifts. 2 something in the morning, you're on the phone with this guy. I asked her, I said, tell your friend he needs to call during business hours.
Can I hold on, time out. Can I, now I need my question answered. Okay. Y'all gotta forgive me. And I'm asking from a place of the safe place. Can I ask a question? I'm gonna ask the question. Because
and hold on, before you say that, so, and this is something that's kind of throw off, like, and it kind of, we know.
Right.
Give off hints like, oh yeah, he has a girlfriend, but he does throw off a little.
Okay.
Oh, so she like his girl.
Hold on. No. Hold on. Time out.
My thing is, why didn't his girlfriend go pick him up?
Hold on. No. This is my question. Because if the issue, hold on. Here's my question. No. If the issue is maybe she did or didn't sleep with Elijah.
You say you're not black or ghetto enough for this? Just wait. We got Chud the Builder and his trans woman coming out with the photos, kissing, and the alleged leaks text messages. Just hang on. We got some shit for you.
I don't think she did.
Hold on.
So,
just hear me out. Hear me out. Because I'm just asking.
I'm waiting on the question.
So here's the question. The question is, wouldn't you feel the difference?
You will, and smell it too, because you can tell when they done slept with a man. It smells different.
Whoa!
So,
wait a minute.
It do.
Wait a minute.
It don't smell the same.
Yes, it does.
I don't care how clean he is, how circumcised he is. It don't smell the same.
Well, did you?
Don't smell the same.
What the fuck we do? Okay, cause what I'm saying is, cause first thing
it's gonna be a no for me, friend.
First thing I would have did that morning is, no. I would have, we would have started some shit, cause I would have. Well, I don't know how. Oh, y'all do. Okay, you do the same thing. All right, thank you. Enough. I appreciate your question. Thank you.
Corey and I gonna sit this one out, right?
I appreciate your question. Thank you. Can I get question 2 to the mic?
Cause I don't know nothing about this.
No, cause what I'm saying is, it's different.
I defer to you.
Cause while my thought process, even out the smell process is because ain't it different sexes? Yeah. Like would she have a different type of sex with a man, or is it the similar sexes?
Well, it depends on what they was gonna go do. Like, you know, he could eat like everybody else eat, or he could have did something else. We're not sure about what he done, but what I'm sure about is that the disrespect is the closure.
Yes.
Absolutely.
The moment that you disrespected me is the moment that the closure was that. That's just that. You done what I did not like, and I told you I did not like it, and then you told me that you would do it again, which meant that you told me right then and there that you have absolutely no respect for me. So it doesn't matter to me if you slept with him, her, or them. That doesn't matter. It matters the disrespect.
One more question. Would it? My bad, Donnie. Would it hurt more if she slept with a man versus a woman?
Not with me. It's gonna be the same. I don't care who you slept with.
She lying. I think she's lying.
The last thing she said
But
about
I'm
Elijah,
pretty sure for some,
I think
yeah.
that's his name, is that she suspected that he was kind of, I'm assuming that's like gay, right? I think Elijah could possibly be a scapegoat.
Me too.
Yeah, for sure. Like Elijah is like, girl, just call me and put it on me while you come over here and smash Ebony. Right.
Let's not do that. Let's not do that. What's your name? What's your question? Elijah is a stand-up guy.
That could have happened.
What's your name? I know, Elijah is a stand-up guy. What's your name? What's your question?
She was smashing Ebony.
Okay, my name is Star, and my question is how to get over a womanizer.
Here we go.
Man, that's difficult.
Here we go. Now, I'm going to be honest with you. This question right here is going to draw a lot of attention because everything, it doesn't matter. In 2026, everything men do is either womanizing or sassy. There's no fucking in between right here. Everything. Listen, man, I don't want to watch that. Oh, you're a womanizer. You need to pick somewhere where you want to eat. Oh, you're a womanizer. I don't know, bro. Bro. It's crazy.
Let me tell you why. I've been
What's
on
up,
the opposite
Josh?
end of this. I've been the womanizer, right? And the difficult part about this is, generally speaking, that person, is that the right word? Womanizer? Womanizer. Okay. Yes. I had hoes. Okay, anyway. But the difficult part about this is that person oftentimes, when you're with them, makes you feel like you're the only girl in the world. In order for this man to have access to multiple different women, his mouthpiece is good, his pelvis piece is good, he may have the ideal traits, and he may be the apex dater in this community. And you don't find out that he has other people until after you have given a piece of yourself to this man. So the difficult part about it is realizing that person that you are dating or falling in love with is a caricature. It is who he pretends to be in order to get you to give up pieces of yourself. And let me tell you this, that type of man can be 5 or 10 different men depending on what woman he's with. And the interesting part about this is, like we talked about it before, your interaction still feels genuine. So that's where the confusion is. What advice do y'all have for somebody that's dealing with a man like that?
I would say to get over a womanizer, you got to come to terms with what drew you to him and be honest about what drew you to him, right? There are a lot of liars out here. There are a lot of actors and all of those things, right? But what a lot of women won't admit is that.
All right, let's ask the women, and we're gonna ask the men. What draws you to the opposite sex? What draws you to the opposite sex? Ladies, what makes you drop them draws? Let's put this shit out here, man. What's making you drop them draws, man?
The simple fact that a man is desired by a lot of women played a part in you getting drew to him to begin with. Right? So we got to ask ourselves, what in me drew me to compete? Because I already know.
And I'm going to be honest with you. I think a lot of y'all going to lie. Nobody in here going to say because they horny. I bet not one of you women in here say, I dropped them draws because I was horny. Ain't nobody going to say that shit.
Knew when I walked into this situation, I was competing. I don't give a damn what he said. He got 100 women chasing him. He's a party promoter, or influencer, whatever, pastor,
Podcast
whatever,
host.
podcaster. You know what I mean?
Hey,
So
hey,
it's like, see, I threw the shot.
Hey, wait a minute.
Shout out. But at the end of the day, like there are a lot of women who admire status.
Amber, chill out, man. So Amber, you telling me you waited till marriage? Amber, you telling me nobody cracked you before you got married? Amber, nobody cracked you until you got married. I don't believe it.
Over integrity.
Oh, yes.
They admire money over consistency.
Yeah.
And we got to dig deep and look in that mirror and ask myself, why am I attracted to this? And fix that. And once you fix that, which is doing inner work, like my girl been saying all night up here, then you'll no longer be attracted to that. So you will never be able to get over it until you figure out why you was attracted to it to begin with.
Can I ask you a question, too? What exactly are you holding on to?
Memories.
Hold on, what?
Memories.
You're holding on
What
to
you
memories.
wanted him to be.
Yeah. What?
Nostalgia.
I admitted to my sister, a bad part with me is that phone. When we was together for 3 years, so your memories always come on your phone.
Yeah.
So it's like once I done started my healing.
She talking about memories on the damn phone. Let's push her ass out the way, chat. Double tap the screen, shut the live out. We finna get into this Chud the Builder shit. But before we get into Chud the Builder, I gotta play y'all the clip of this baby, man. Where's that baby? All right, here goes a picture of the baby. Man, this family just got charged with second-degree murder because they had a 7-year-old that was 255 pounds, man. 255 pounds. They never took the baby to the doctor. The baby never went to school. The baby they were hoarders, so the baby lived in terrible conditions, man. We're going to get into this, man. Hold on, chat. We're going to get into this. The baby lived in terrible conditions. Baby. Here it goes, man. Where's the damn article, man? All right, chat. Y'all hit the like button, chat. We got to get the likes up in here. We need the likes to match the views, man. Please hit the like button on your way in case you forgot. All right, here's the baby, man. 4 foot 2 inches, 255 pounds, a 7-year-old. 4 foot 2, 255 pounds. Shit.
255 pounds when he died.
On the face of it, this is cruel and extreme suffering from this child caused by the neglect of the parents.
Flint Township.
Like, do y'all remember when Maury used to have them big babies on? They would be like 100 pounds and they would be like 2.5 years old, 3 years old. Well, this is a 7-year-old that's 255. Has anybody checked in on those big ass babies that was on Maury? Like, how did they turn out? How did they turn out?
Police came to this home on Dania on November 4th, 2025, for a report of a child 50 inches tall and weighed 255 pounds when he died.
On the face of it, this is cruel and extreme suffering from this child caused by the neglect of the parents.
Flint Township Police came to this home on Dania on November 4th, 2025, for a report of a child in distress. Casper was taken to Hurley Medical Center, where he died a short time later. Medical reports indicate he weighed 255 pounds at the time of his death.
That's obesity. And then you also have the fact that this child did not have a pediatrician.
Chat, I'm going to be honest with you. I went to jail and ate damn honey buns, peanut butter, and fucking ramen noodles for like 7 months straight, and I didn't even get the 255. I think the biggest I got was like 235, 240. And that was I felt it. I felt it. Going from like 190 to 240, I felt it. And I'm almost 6 foot tall. This baby at 4 foot 2, 255 pounds, oh, that's crazy. Oh, that's crazy.
was only taken to the doctor, I believe, according to the police reports, once.
The cause of death was dilated cardiomyopathy, which causes heart failure, with a contributing cause being morbid obesity. The CDC lists a healthy weight for a 7-year-old boy that is 50.5 inches tall, generally ranges between 50 and 73 pounds.
That boy was 200 pounds overweight. 200 pounds overweight.
The dad has a good job. They have real health insurance. That morning that the child died, they had even called their veterinarian to have their dog treated.
The O'Briens also have a 5-year-old daughter.
None of these kids even existed in the eyes of the government. CPS had never been out there. Nobody knew about these kids. They'd not been to school.
Genesee County Prosecutor David Layton says on the day police were at the home in November, the owner of the house stopped by, concerned, believing the house was falling into disrepair and the couple wasn't letting him in the house, instead leaving the rent on the porch.
I can't think of what else this is other than extraordinary, terrible neglect. And to me, that's willful and wanton misconduct, which is second-degree murder.
All right, Chad, so I'm going to pose the question to you. Should the family be charged with second-degree murder on top of the neglect? They said the child never went to the doctor. They said the child never attended school. The child was 4 foot 2 inches and 255 pounds. Should the parents be charged in the unaliving of this baby? Second degree is what they're charged with. Y'all let me know down in the comments. All right, so this is the girl that's the trans woman that's coming out saying that she had a full-blown relationship with Chud the Builder. This is the second person to come forward against Chud the Builder. This is the second person to come forward against Chud the Builder.
Yeah, so last year, May 2025, I f***ed Chud the Builder.
I can't play that music.
Feminine. He sent me these texts. Women and femboys, they're the only people who want to act feminine. He sent me these texts with his baby mama, who was Latina, months later after a date. She said, "Go live happily ever after with a dude. Get him, girl." And then he said, back in the day, when women were made to be feminine, that's when society was the best and the least gay shit occurred. Every time women get out of hand, the femmes go back to the Roman days and dudes who are more femme than their fat girlfriends are. Women are so manly, dudes would rather fuck a femboy than come home to their GF. Bitches who act like dudes will
And
call
nobody
men
ever
gay
said
for
that.
fucking femboys who are more feminine than they are, in quotes.
How dare you not want to come home and man with a pussy?
Sorry, babe, I'd rather fuck a girl with a dick than an N-word with a mid-pussy like yours. Cry loud.
I don't know. I just don't see Chud the Builder typing "sorry, babe." I'm just gonna be honest. I don't see Chud the Builder typing "sorry, babe." I don't know. I don't know, Chad. I don't know. It was "sorry, babe" coming from Chud the Builder sounds a little crazy.
Laughing emoji. My friend made a good point where she's like, "Yeah, bro, like you really owned your baby mama." I know it's like not base, like it's very misogynist. Just say you think it's hot, bro. Like, that's all. It's not really just how hot he was. Yo, look at this last selfie he sent me, actually, from a new faceless Grindr profile.
I'm gonna find it.
Look at this fucking picture. He's so hot. I had to go digging through the text to find it, and I knew I'd send it to my friend, but I fucking screamed when I saw what she had said. Like, Dalton started messaging me on Grindr again. She said, "LMAO, why the fuck is he pretty? If he wasn't like a future murderer, I'd be lit as fuck for you." shout out my girl for being an oracle, I guess. I said that to her. She's like, on God, I never miss.
And then I said,
Neither did Chud, unfortunately. We cuddled on my couch and made out. I've struggled finding a good word for what happened next, because I think like simulated sex, it's too vague, and frauding is too specific. But at some point, I put it between his thighs, not his ass, unfortunately. We were like kissing. He flexed his legs together, which it's funny from like Mr. I'm not a gay bottom. Like, I remembered this. Like, this came back to me. What we did.
So this trans woman is saying that she banged Chud's thighs. He banged Chud's thighs. They had thigh sex. It's crazy, bruh. Chud having thigh sex with this person is crazy, bro.
Was kind of more gay. Like, bruh, you just got your chud-ussy pounded. What else have you got to lose? Like, just flip over. Why am I losing my voice? I felt like Dalton wanted a trainee trad wife. We talked a lot about his job. I don't think he ever asked about mine. Several times after doing things.
Carlos talking about never heard of thigh sex. Carlos, I told you, man, I'm not freaky dicky like y'all, bro. Like, I know down in Miami and in Los Angeles, the cities and shit, man, y'all extra freaky. Now, I'm from the South, so trust me, the South got its own different freaky shit going on, but I'm not that fucking freaky, bro. Like, I'm not trying to, you know what I mean? Now, I might rub it up against that, you know what I mean? I might rub it up against that thing, but thigh sex? Thigh sex? No.
For him, he called me a good girl. It was hot, like, don't get me wrong, but there was something unnerving about it. As corny as it sounds, I wondered what would happen if I was a bad girl. Chud was very intense. Ted Bundy stare and all that. He was bigger than me, and he would switch from being overly affectionate to annoyed and angry. Later down the road, he would neg me over text, like, I miss your big forehead. And if I pushed back, he excused it.
You know I love you.
Which for one date, he said I love you like a few times. I said it back. I didn't want to get murdered.
Oh no, man. This is the trad wife, the movement, man. We got Christy Noam's husband putting on fake boobs. We got Chud the Builder out here having all kind of sexual escapades.
And thank you for establishing
sexual deviance. All right, so I believe Texas Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick is pushing back on the church and separation of church and state. Texas just passed it to where certain Bible passages will be part of the curriculum, the literature curriculum. I believe the 10 Commandments is a part of that. And it's causing an uproar right now, chat. It's causing an uproar right now.
this commission. It was just 13 months ago when we stood in the Rose Garden. Now it's an incredibly beautiful Rose Garden today. We just stood there and we talked about religious liberty and that no president in our history.
Oh, chat, be sure to double tap the screen on your way in. We have to get the likes up. Please double tap the screen on your way in. We're also 14 subscribers away from 49,000, man. Who's gonna be the 49,000 subscriber, man? We gonna have a giveaway in here, man. We gonna get some super chats and stuff. What are we gonna do, man? Who's gonna be number 49,000, bro?
Has stood more for God than this president. He has been unashamed to speak the word of Jesus. He's been unashamed to speak up for all faiths. And he established this commission so that we would assure Americans that religious liberty, that this great inheritance from our founding fathers would continue for another 250 years. And Mr. President, we believe this will be one of your greatest legacies, and you happen to be the perfect president to be here in the 250th celebration. The question is, what is religious liberty? It's our conscience. It's that little voice inside of us that tells us right from wrong. It's that voice that when we're in trouble we can talk to in our quiet moments. It's that voice when we feel unloved and alone, that can comfort us through a higher power. When governments can take away your religious liberty, they're putting their hand in your heart.
Who is that black dude right there? Is that Carlson? Who is that black dude right there?
And taking everything you believe in. And if governments can do that, then they become God. The president spoke earlier today of the communist threat in this country. We know what communists do around the world. They remove God. They close the churches. They punish the believers. And so this is so important at this point in time in history. And we didn't know about this communist movement a year ago when we were here.
I'm not gonna lie to you. I went to school with a foreign exchange student one time. We was in like 3rd grade and she never said the pledge. A few people actually didn't say the pledge that I went to school with, now that I think about it. We was in like 2nd, 3rd grade. But I went to school with a couple of people that just didn't say the pledge.
But this is the perfect time to stand up and say to America, you have been given this great inheritance and you deserve to have religious liberty. The key is that after 103 witnesses, after 7 months of testimony, after 200 pages of testimony that we're delivering today, we found there was one constant theme. The overwhelming majority of our witnesses said that they were attacked and punished, and what was used against them was one phrase that's not in the Constitution, and that phrase is separation of church and state. The left has used that one phrase that was one line out of one of hundreds of letters by Thomas Jefferson to batter and hammer people of faith for the last 70 to 80 years. And this report will speak very clearly that we want to be sure Americans understand.
It's crazy. This is crazy.
That they cannot be attacked by that phrase any longer. So we have 12 recommendations. I'll read the first 6. My great vice chairman will read the next 6, and then members will speak to these issues. So, Mr. President, recommendation number 1, instruct the Department of Justice to...
Why I say this is crazy is because, all right, y'all clip this up. This is still fitting into that Jubilee narrative. So when he's bringing this back into the schools and he's pushing it as the left has used this one line out of hundreds of documents for years to push this separation of church and state, we got to remember that Pope Leo proclaimed this year a Jubilee year. So we talked the other night about everything that goes on into the Jubilee, and I believe this is a part of them pushing that Jubilee. So it says 2026 Jubilee year proclaimed by Pope Leo runs from January 10, 2026 to January 10, 2027, honoring the 800th anniversary of St. Francis' death. So yeah, they're pushing that Jubilee narrative at rather hard as well too.
Issue guidance clarifying the proper understanding of the Establishment Clause and the separation of church and state. Number 2, the Department of Justice, the Department of Health and Human Services, the Equal Employment Opportunity Commission shall issue Know Your Rights posters for students, parents, public teachers, administrators, religious leaders, religious institutions, healthcare workers, and military service members. Ben Carlson, I'll let you.
It's crazy. Like when I tell y'all about the Jubilee, Pope Francis, isn't that the one? Is he from Chicago, right? Maybe not Pope Francis, Pope Leo. Is that the one that's from Chicago? That's the one that's from Chicago, right? Yeah, Pope Leo's from Chicago. So Pope Leo's from Chicago. He proclaimed this year the Jubilee year. We got TPS ending for the Haitians and the Syrians. We got the border shut down. We're ruling on birthright citizenship. They're bringing the Bible back into schools. We got fertilizer prices are through the roof. So the farmers are basically by default having to let the fields rest. We've seen a lot of that. This shit is crazy, bro. They're really pushing this Jubilee, and it's like a I'm not gonna say underlying theme. It's like it overlays everything. When you look at a lot of this shit that's going on right now, you just see Jubilee written all over it. And I didn't even know that Pope Leo considered this shit a Jubilee year. That's crazy.
Finish with the remaining 7.
6.
6. Go ahead.
Combat anti-Semitism through enforcement of civil rights.
And we're giving Iran the sanctions relief. All debt will be cleared. Oh, shit. This shit is crazy, bruh. This shit is really crazy when you look at it.
Litigation of credible allegations of anti-Semitic discrimination and violence, and civic education. Protect religious Americans from government-led litigation targeting their free exercise. Repeal the Johnson Amendment. Order the Department of War to streamline and improve the religious accommodation process. Continue efforts to restore the retirement or re-enlistment eligibility of service members who lost employment, health insurance, pensions, and other benefits because of their religious beliefs about COVID and vaccines. And lastly, honor the courage of religious liberty heroes through creating a Presidential Medal of Religious Liberty and First Freedom Hero Award.
Oh, you said he's up there for what? He's the token black right now, man. You know, Ben Carson's been around. I believe he was in Trump's administration cabinet the first time. But yeah, he's the token black right now, man. We just gonna call it what it is, man.
Awards to recognize Americans who stand up for religious freedom and play an indispensable role in protecting citizens' constitutional rights. And Mr. President, we just want to thank you, first of all, for appointing us to this commission, and secondly, for your steadfast dedication to religious liberty. I don't think anybody has done as much as you have, maybe not everybody else put together. And some people in the beginning thought it was just fake, it was just politics, but you've been steadfast throughout the whole thing. And it's a big part of America. Our founding document says that our rights come from our Creator and not from government. And people who try to divorce us from that heritage, do they realize that that's in our founding document? Do they realize that our Pledge of Allegiance says we are one nation under God? Do they realize that many courtrooms in the land on the wall it says in God we trust? That every coin in their pocket, every bill in their wallet says in God we trust? So if it's in all those places, but we're not supposed to talk about it, maybe we need to see a psychiatrist.
All right, man. Everyone double tap the screen on your way in. Chat, please help us get the likes to where they need to be. We're also
now, White House
10
deputy.
subscribers away. We're 10 subscribers away from 49,000. Let's hit 49,000 on tonight, chat.
Chief of Staff for Policy, Stephen Miller. Stephen, it's good to see you here.
Thank you.
Let's start with these two. This feels like a big victory? Certainly ending that asylum process has got to be a big victory for the president.
Yes, these are both extraordinary victories, Will. In the case of TPS, or Temporary Protected Status, aka amnesty for Haitian migrants, this is a victory 10 years in the making, if you can believe.
Did y'all see how Megyn Kelly talked about the Haitians? Get out. I know our country's great and your country's this. Get out. I'm tired of you. Megyn Kelly talk crazy. I'm going to pull that shit up in a minute. I don't know. Megyn Kelly's unhinged right now. I don't know, bro. It's crazy.
Believe it. In the first Trump administration, President Trump ended TPS for Haitian illegals and was frozen by the courts. The Biden administration came in. They flew Haitians right over the border by airplane, dumped them into American towns all over the country, particularly in Springfield, Ohio, destroying these tight-knit communities, and gave them all, again, this TPS, Temporary Protected Status, which gives them unfettered access to welfare and other benefits in the United States. Trump ended that benefit again here in the second term, even though the statute says that it is judicially unreviewable, meaning Congress said the courts can't review it. Our rogue radical judges stymied that for the last 16 months, and again, now here we are.
All right, chat, I'm going to ask y'all right now, does birthright citizenship harm or benefit America? Does it harm America or does it benefit America? Birthright citizenship.
Because of the Supreme Court, and we can finally remove these Haitian illegal migrants from the United States. It is a momentous victory, albeit this should have never taken 10 years. It is outrageous that we have judges in this country who continue to supplant their own radical beliefs for the democratic views and judgments of hardworking American citizens.
Just when you're getting warmed up, I was starting to laugh about the definition of temporary. 10 years, that's the definition of temporary. Do these, Stephen, we're all waiting for the Supreme Court to issue an opinion on birthright citizenship. I know that one decision does not tell you where they'll go on another decision. What is your sense of where the court will go on birthright citizenship?
Well, look, I don't know where they're going to go.
Yeah, they say Stephen Miller family didn't even get here till after like the 1900s. They say it's people from like Belarus or somewhere, man. I'm just going to be honest. For him to talk about all these folks need to go and doing all this shit. Hey, man, did they keep walking this shit down the line? Yes, might be next. Yes, might be next, man.
I'm not going to forecast it. Here's what I can say. Anybody who has read even 30 seconds of American history understands the Reconstruction Amendments after the Civil War were to ensure that the children of slaves.
You talking about 1900 is 126 years ago. They still telling black people to go back to Africa. The black people was here before 1865, man. What are you talking about? The niggas was here 1700, 1600s, a lot of indigenous niggas, and you talking about sending blacks back to Africa. His folks only been here since fucking 1900, like 1903. Shit, what are we talking about?
Would be franchised in the United States. The author of the 14th Amendment was clear in saying it did not apply to aliens. There should be a 9-0 ruling in a functioning democracy. The idea that you can have a country where you just set foot on U.S. soil and any child you have gets to be an American citizen and vote in our elections, collect our welfare, sit in our juries, sit in judgment of our fellow men and women is such an outrage to the idea of having a country. It defies description. I don't know what they're going to do, but here's what I can say. If this country doesn't, one way or another, end birthright citizenship, this country doesn't have a future. Citizenship has to be sacred and precious. And as we stand here on the 250th anniversary of America's founding, the idea that we wouldn't have in this country respect and sanctity.
I never said Miller said go back to Africa. I'm talking to the group of people that Miller speaks for. It's y'all motherfuckers that say go back to Africa. It's y'all. Oh, Abraham Lincoln wanted to send y'all back to Africa. It's y'all. Y'all know exactly what I'm talking about. Don't try to frame this shit. You know, just like I know, just like the chat knows. The same motherfuckers that come in here every night telling me to go back to Africa is the same motherfuckers Stephen Miller is speaking for right now. Cut it out. Cut it out. Y'all come here every night talking that shit.
For citizenship, for the voting franchise is such an insult to generations of Americans who spilled their blood for our freedom in battlefields here and all across the earth, Will.
Well, and you're seeing it play out, right? I think you've seen it play out this week. I saw a post that you made on X, Stephen, about English proficiency in New York City. And I believe what you were quoted as saying is that half of all New Yorkers, English is not the primary language, and 25% were not proficient in English. And when we look at the exit polling from the election of these socialists in New York, you're looking at a constituency of foreign-born voters, and then, of course, rich, white, often women, college-educated liberals in New York.
Yeah, so
it's the same shit. It's the same shit, bro. It's that Tea Party shit. It's the Nick Fuentes type shit. It's that, man. Let's get the Latinos out, then we'll come for you niggas next. I don't want to live around you niggas. What's gonna happen? It's gonna happen. Cut it out, bro. Y'all know. Cut it out, bro. I'm not saying everybody's like that, but y'all don't act like y'all don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. Don't act ignorant. That's what I don't like. I'm not going to say you're like that, but don't act ignorant. Do not act ignorant in here.
A very important point about this. Well, it's certainly true that there is a segment of wealthy white liberals who live in New York City, live in Los Angeles, who are crazy left and insane and do all kinds of extraordinary damage to our country. It is also true.
You calling me extremely ignorant. Your name is $2 Dan's, loves John's balloon knot, and you got your scrunched up ass forehead frowning in that little ass bubble over here, man. Like, come on, man. You got that scrunched and scrunched up forehead in that little ass bubble in here talking shit. Chill out, chill out, $2 Dan. Chill out, $2 Dan.
That at scale, bringing tens of millions of third world voters into this country from nations that are communist, nations that are socialist, nations that are failed states, nations that if they never had contact with the West would have never developed the combustion engine or airplanes or televisions or radio or the internet, that this process of rapidly introducing tens of millions of migrants into the country who have the ability, because they're made into citizens, to vote to take from other citizens. In other words, they can, with their vote, say, I want more money, I want more checks, I want more welfare. The idea that we wouldn't expect this to lead to more socialism, you have to be stupid not to see that. And when they talk about college graduates turning left, again, half of college graduates in New York City.
Oh my gosh, bro. Why do y'all want to do this tonight, man? Y'all know I like entertaining, man. Y'all know I like having fun. It's the weekend. We the weekend. Y'all want to do this tonight with me. Y'all want to do this tonight with me. Honestly. Chill out, bro.
Are either foreign born or come from immigrant households. So we have completely changed New York City. New York isn't the New York that you see in movies. New York isn't the New York you visited as a kid. By the way, nor is Los Angeles. Two of the most financially important capitals on the face of the earth, their political futures, their resources, their dollars, are controlled in large measure by people that we just brought into this country who have no history or experience or faith or confidence in many cases in American democracy. You know, when the founding fathers built this country, they were keenly aware of the fact that their history as Englishmen in the colonies, their history and experience with Enlightenment principles and values formed the foundation of our system of government. It's simply not the case. It has never been the case. To go back to the Haiti example, that you can just take 3 million people from a failed island, put them into America, and overnight that they are able to become fully successful, fully assimilated American citizens. That defies everything we know about how culture works, how assimilation works, how...
I'm just gonna let y'all know, like, it don't bother me that the Haitians gotta go back home. I'm just gonna say it. Like, the Haitians, the Syrians, it don't bother. I just want them to keep that same energy. Stop letting the South Africans come in this motherfucker too, man. If the borders closed, that motherfucker closed, man. If we not accepting no visitors, we not accepting no motherfucking visitors, man. Keep that same energy, straight up. And we can get into, I'll start a panel. We can join the Discord, start a panel. Cause I don't want to hear that shit. Y'all come here talking about America's a white country, you know, and all of that. Hey, I'm FBA. So I'm going to have a different opinion on that shit. Straight up. It is what it is.
Nations work. These are hard conversations, but if we don't have these conversations, then we're going to continue to go blindly down the path that we've been on in this country for a very long time.
Yeah, Stephen Miller, very well said. Good to see you, Stephen. Thank you.
Thank you, my friend.
Be sure to like and subscribe for all the Fox News latest on YouTube and catch full shows streaming now on Fox One.
All right, man. Watch out, Jesse. We know you getting that damn money. Jesse Waters getting that money, ain't he? All right, man. This is Stephen Miller's uncle, man. This is uncle, man.
Describe your nephew, Stephen Miller, as an immigration hypocrite. What do you mean by that?
It's an important question, and I have to preface my response by saying that I wrote this article more in sadness than in anger or resentment. Our family history is entirely dependent upon the fact that our family was able to escape from a terrible situation in what is now the country of Belarus. In those days, was part of the Russian Empire.
Your family first came here, I think, in the early 1900s.
You said, yeah, black Americans are upset because they losing project housing. Ain't nobody upset they losing project housing. This is the problem that I have, bro. I want y'all to join the panel tonight. Just join the panel. We can like, come on, bro. Chill out. Like, yeah, black Americans are upset because they're losing public housing. Now, did you not hear anything I just said? I spoke about the white Americans saying that this is a white country. Y'all come here every night saying that this is a white country, and I said, as an FBA, I don't agree with that. I have a different opinion. And you're going to say, because y'all are losing housing projects. I think you missed the mark with that one. I just think you missed the mark with that one.
Article more in sadness than in anger or resentment. Our family history is entirely dependent upon the fact that our family was able to escape from a terrible situation in what is now the country of Belarus. In those days was part of the Russian Empire.
Your family first came here, I think, in the early 1900s.
The first of our particular group came over in 1903. They worked for a while peddling fruit and doing sweatshop work, and then they were able to round up enough money to bring over the rest of the immediate family.
So y'all hear this, man?
Part of the Russian Empire.
Your family first came here, I think, in the early 1900s.
The first of our particular group came over in 1903. They worked for a while peddling fruit and doing sweatshop work, and then they were able to round up enough money to bring over the rest of the immediate family. Everybody else who didn't make it, they were all swept away.
So 1876, the country was damn near 120 years old before they even got over here, man. What are we talking about? The country was damn near 120, 30 years old before they even got over here, man. Shit was up and running. Niggas was putting in sweat equity by the time his people even got over here from Belarus. What are we talking about, bro?
Away in the Holocaust and dead.
And so you're saying the hypocrisy
well, let's put it simply. Had we not been able to enter America when we did, Stephen Miller would never exist.
And so this notion of chain migration, which is something the administration calls the opportunity for somebody who's come to the United States to apply to get their parents to come, their cousins, brothers or sisters to come, that has been part of your family history, of Stephen Miller's family history.
That is the classic story of virtually everybody in America who isn't a Native American or who was brought over unwillingly as a slave. That's everybody's story.
You referred to your nephew Stephen as an immigration hypocrite. Do you see this administration itself as hypocritical? The First Lady, her parents just got citizenship based on what the administration would call chain migration.
Well, let's think of it for a second. As far as I understand, Mr. Trump's grandfather came over, or either his father or his grandfather came over as an immigrant from Germany, trying to avoid draft into the German army. He's trying to find a new life here in the United States. His mother, I think, escaped the poverty of Scotland,
yeah.
Looking for a better opportunity in New York City. And he is married as what's the count now? 3 immigrant women in the United States, and has just through chain migration, her parents have been made citizens of the United States, and I welcome them.
You know, it's obviously always difficult to talk about race, and I always hesitate to even to bring it up in these circumstances. But the president has, there's been reporting that he's talked about immigrants coming from what he called shithole countries, talked about people from Haiti having AIDS, about people in Nigeria not wanting to go back to their huts, as if everybody in Nigeria lives in huts. I talked about people, why shouldn't more people from Norway come? Do you see a racial component in this administration, how they view this issue?
All those epithets are the sorts of things which were said about Jews, Irish, Poles, Hungarians, and virtually Italians, Sicilians, Sardinians, everybody from Southern Europe, Eastern Europe, from the Balkan countries, were all condemned and vilified by the so-called America Firsters of their day. These people were described frequently as slime pumped out of the mud tanks of Europe, rapists, murderers, thieves, gangsters. And thankfully, the United States has made progress, as fitful as it may be, in reforming immigration laws so that we no longer had these racial quotas.
What's up, fitness? Hey, look, chat. The next 3 subscribers is going to help us get to 49,000. Who's gonna be the 49,000 subscriber? Whoever is the 49,000 subscriber, I got a plug sack bag to send out to you. We're gonna do a giveaway for the 49,000 subscriber, man. You better put your bid in and say you was the 49,000, and we'll figure out a way to discern who gonna get the bag out of whoever claims this shit, man.
It is hard to escape the conclusion based on the administration's actions and policies rather than their rhetoric. It's hard to escape the conclusion that they want to disadvantage people coming from countries based on their religion, based on their ethnicity, and based on their countries and regions of origin.
Did it surprise you that Stephen was involved in this? When you see him as a leading voice in this in the administration?
Sadly, it's no surprise. It appears that much of his professional identity and his personal identity has been wrapped up in this particular issue, though I do not know why.
All right, man. I don't see anybody putting a claim. You don't got to agree with me. Appreciate that sub, man. You don't got to agree with me, but appreciate that sub, Diane. You said you just subbed Red Letter. All right, chat. So this is what we're going to do. We're going to pick, who the hell in here is a mod? All right, Lala. I need Lala to send me a Discord message. Send me a message in Discord, Lala, with a number 1 through 100. With a number 1 through 100. Thank you, Miss VR for subbing, getting a membership. Send me a number. Send me a number in the Discord, Lala, and OG Yosemite. You send me a number in the Discord too. That's how we're gonna do the giveaway. We're gonna do 2 numbers, 1 through 100. Whoever gets the number right wins the Zy bag. That's how we'll do the giveaway to make it to where everybody can enter. That's how we'll do the giveaway so everybody can enter. Is that fair, chat? Is that fair?
About how United States taxpayers were somehow going to give $300 billion.
Thank you, Ms. Bones, for gifting out that membership. Time for street justice. OG, be sure to give Ms. Bones a thanks for that gifted membership. Thank you, Karen, for the $5. Thank you, Karen. I hope you're having a great day, Karen. Let's get into this. So Tucker Carlson interviewed Trump's social media advisor. So he's going to break down his view of everything that's unfolding as a social media advisor. So these rants, these posts we see at 2, 3, 4 in the morning, I believe this is the brains behind it. All of the White House posts, the viral clips, the blowing up the boats in the damn water. And I think this guy may be part of the brains behind it. You said
dollars to Iran. And I look at people like Thomas Massey, who's been on this program. He was very quick to share the statement saying that this MOU is terrible because we're going to give $300 billion to Iran, which is not true. It never was true. It's money that can be unlocked over time. Not a single dollar will come from American taxpayers. But people like Massey were...
So that's what I'm saying. He's saying it's money that can be unlocked over the course of time. We heard that J.D. Vance say that this will last a generation. So I'm expecting the payouts to be over 20 years. But this still goes back to the Jubilee narrative. Clearing all debts. They're saying that this is not money coming from the taxpayers. This is Iran's own money, I guess, that has gained interest over all of these years. So this would be considered a debt owed to Iran, going into that Jubilee narrative.
We're also spreading misinformation. So I think that there's a lot of coordinated misinformation being spread from pro-war side and also some anti-war critics as well.
Interesting.
All right, chat, before we get into the interview, I'm finna look right now. I'm finna look right now for the number. We'll do the giveaway right now. One of them. All right, Lala sent me the number. Hold on, chat. Okay. Oh, you said somebody won already, Lala? They said Sam Bishop won. Lala said Sam Bishop won. So Sam Bishop, send me an email. Mods, drop the email. plugsackstories@gmail.com. Sam Bishop, send me an email, Sam Bishop, at plugsackstories@gmail.com. Mods, type the email in the chat, mods. Sam Bishop, send me an email and I'll get your bag sent out. We'll do another giveaway, and as soon as OG Yosemite sends me his number, the number that he chooses. But don't start guessing numbers yet. Wait until I say it started, because y'all kind of jumped the gun. I wasn't even ready for that one, but Lala said Sam Bishop won, so Sam Bishop won. Next time, wait till we say go. OG Yosemite, I'm waiting on that number.
So can I just get your take on something before we proceed into the details of what you just alleged? You're alleging things, Alex Brusowitz, which seem true to me, but
Oh, the number was 36, Karen. The number was 36.
I want to know why you think it. But first to the question of the people criticizing the MOU.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, plenty of ways to criticize the MOU, but all of that criticism, I think, needs to be viewed in context of what the alternatives to the MOU might be. Like, okay, maybe you don't like the MOU, but then what?
Right.
Did any of the people in this campaign that you're describing offer like an alternative to the MOU? Like, we continue this war and then what happens?
Right. No, there's been no alternatives offered. There's just straight criticism. It's keyboard warriors. That's what we deal with. Fortunately, their opinions have very little impact on the electorate, the populace. You know, we've seen polling from.
Okay, Sam, you sent the email. We'll get that out to you at the top of the week. You sent the email. I'll get back to you, and we'll lock in for the address. OG Yosemite said he sent the number. OG Yosemite said he sent the number. Okay, I got the number, chat. OG Yosemite, you got to look out for the winner, too. So we have the number, 1 through 100. 1 through 100. You said, what did you win? Hold on, I'll show you what you won. Hold on. You won one of these, man. You won a plug sack Zah bag, man. You know, it's just a nice little bag. You got the little zip top. You could put anything in it. You know what I'm saying? We call these a plug sack Zah bag right here. You know what I'm saying? Nice branding on it, man. Real high quality, man. You just won you a plug sack Zah bag, man. Straight up.
Mel, Fabrizio Lee, McLaughlin, all these different polls that show President Trump's MOU is widely popular with the American people, 67%.
Actually?
67%. And so
the framework of the settlement deal with Iran,
yes.
the 14 points that have been everywhere.
Yes. It's 60.
Hey, Travis said, what else? Nothing else, nigga. That's a $10 bag, Travis. I ain't got it like that. We ain't made it yet, man. I ain't even at 50K. Damn. We just lost a subscriber, matter of fact. That's it.
67%.
67% of Americans who've been polled on that issue are supportive of the Trump-Vance agreement. But if you look at social media, you think that nobody's in favor of it because of coordinated influence campaigns from unique actors and foreign parties.
Interesting. It makes you, I'm not actually surprised because, again, you know, they're offering no alternative to the MOU.
Right.
So if there was like some way for the United States to get more, you know, I could see the criticism as being valid. So I'm not surprised by that number, but it does make you think maybe there are other issues where our view of it is totally distorted because our view comes from social media.
Definitely. And a lot of the press rooms, they get their stories from social media. They get the producers, they get what topics they're going to discuss in their shows from social media.
Oh, for sure.
Because they think that is what people are talking about. And some people are talking about it, but in the grand scheme of things, a very small percentage of people are actually talking.
Hey, Chad, I'm still waiting on somebody to guess the number to win the second Zah bag. We'll still have the second giveaway going, 1 through 100. We're still waiting.
Talking or caring about these issues. And so I think it's very healthy and important for Americans in our country to start pulling back from believing everything that they read on social media and start questioning a lot of the people that they're getting the information from. And on all sides of issues, there's a lot of influence and a lot of money from special interest groups from foreign countries that have poured into internet ecosystem. And I don't think it's been healthy for our democracy, for our country. And so, I've been working actually with Congresswoman Ana Paulina Luna and some other friends in government to maybe strengthen some disclosure laws. But there's a lot of influence ops that happen on social media. And, I think if we just continue talking about the war in the Middle East, for example, there's an information op on the pro-Israel side, and there's an information op on the anti-Israel side.
Who's getting paid to be anti-Israel? I've been very critical of Israel. I've never taken $1 from it.
Yeah, who's getting paid to be anti-Israel? I know they're going to throw a few names in the hat like Candace, probably Anna, Chink, Hassan. I wonder who they think is actually getting paid. Oh, probably Nick. They'll probably throw Nick in there.
From anybody. We have no investors and no debt. So I know for myself, I've never, and I would never take money to give an opinion.
So you're not Tucker Carlson.
I actually really like Qatar a lot, and I think the people who run it are amazing, but I've never taken any money from Qatar, and I never would.
All right, so nobody's got the number so far. So I'll give y'all a break. We'll go 1 through 80. 1 through 80. The number is 1 through 80. I told y'all 1 through 100. Nobody's gotten it so far, so we're gonna go 1 through 80.
I think it's interesting to hear you say that there is anti-Israel commentary that's being funded by foreign countries. I've never heard that before.
And it also might be funded domestically. And maybe what I'm not going to accuse anybody of taking money. That's not my position, right? But
I'd like to.
I'm an expert on social media.
Yes.
Early on in my career, I started my company to help conservatives communicate better on social media.
Yep.
And so I would identify conservatives that I wanted to work with, and I would help them grow.
Oh, we got a winner. Alan Hinkle. Alan Hinkle. You just won. Alan Hinkle. Send me an email at plugsackstories@gmail.com. Alan Hinkle. You just won a Plug Sack Zy bag, man. Really high quality, you know what I'm saying? Got the Plug Sack branding on it. You know, the little Ziploc top, man. Real secure. We would call this a pound bag. But this is a Plug Sack Zy bag. And you just won one, Alan Hinkle. Maj, drop the email in the chat so Alan can send me an email and we can get his bag sent out to him on next week, man. We just done 2 giveaways and we may have one more. We did hit 49,000. We may do one more in about 15, 20 minutes. So Alan Hinkle, chat, tell Alan congratulations.
Their social media presence, oftentimes using some other people's platforms, amplification or whatever. Some of those members of Congress that I've worked with in the past, Marjorie Taylor Greene.
Yeah.
I started working with Marjorie Taylor Greene. She had 2,000 Twitter followers. By the time she won her election and entered Congress that January of 2021, she had over 800,000 Twitter followers. So in probably a 9-month period, we took her from a no-name congresswoman or a no-name candidate to one of the most followed Republican congresswomen in America. And
how do you do that?
I must admit, I'm slightly disappointed with Marjorie's recent pivot. I think that she was slightly...
Oh, I keep forgetting to tell y'all the number. The number was 17. The number was 17. It was 17. Alan picked 17. That was the number that he won on.
She felt slightly burned that people didn't support her ambitions for higher office. She says that's not the case. But she went from being the president's #1 defender for 6 years, for as long as I'd known her. She only wanted to run for Congress to get Trump's endorsement, to be Trump's #1 fan, #1 cheerleader.
Yeah, she loved Trump.
She loved Trump. And so I think that she was a little bit slighted by the president and the team not supporting her.
Did y'all see that article they did about Trump's secretary? Her brother came out saying that she has an unusual relationship with Trump. She follows him around with paper copies, leaves him love letters and shit, man. Have y'all heard about that?
Her for either governor or senator or vice president or some other ambitions that she had. And I personally also think she got bored of Congress. I think she went in with tremendous excitement. She wanted to go there and make a difference. She wanted to go there and help President Trump, build the wall and deport illegal aliens and, end foreign aid and do all these things. And I think she got to Washington. She realized a lot of those things are, the president built the wall and he stopped illegal alien invasion in our country almost 100% since he's been in office. But a lot of other things that she wanted to do, when you get to Congress, you realize it's almost impossible. And you realize that you're one of 435 people. And you see people on Fox News, a congressman on Fox News, they talk a tough game. Well, I can write this letter. I can do this. I can hold this person accountable. But you realize the congressman doesn't actually have any authority. So I think she went there having a different understanding of how much power she could actually have and how much change she could actually make. Realized it was a system that was very difficult to change, got burned out, and is now back to being a commentator.
Well, there's never been a better time to sign up for.
But then Fox, actually, to their credit, they showed the censorship of that was happening to Marjorie on the social media platform. So she was on Fox and Friends that next morning. She was on late night. She was primetime Fox later that day. She got her accounts back, and she gained like 300,000 followers off of one moment.
Yeah, I was involved. I remember.
And so she was, and then a lot of right-wing accounts started defending her. This is terrible. Go follow Marjorie Taylor Greene. Go support Marjorie Taylor Greene. And these are all MAGA people. These are all President Trump supporters. These are all MAGA people. And I think that's why so many people are frustrated by her pivot. And yes, you can have policy disagreements, but I think there's a difference between having policy disagreements and making accusations. And she's not the only one. These people accusing the president.
Well, I mean, hold on. I mean, I love Marjorie.
Oh, we got the lunatic libertarian. What's going on, lunatic libertarian? Appreciate you for stopping through and giving your thoughts and opinions. He says all centralized systems have failed. Socialism, communism, authoritarian, all sound good when you have become desolate. Giving away liberty and freedom for security. Deserve neither. We the people are the authority. Unite and we win. Those are powerful words from the lunatic libertarian, for sure. All centralized systems have failed, and I am not willing to give up any of my liberties or freedoms for security. I think I'll take my chances with that Second Amendment. Lunatic.
So, I mean, and that's well known. I love Marjorie Taylor Greene, and I think she's a sincere person. I don't understand every nuance, but I do think we don't have to like come up with, we can like understand people's motives as they explain them. And she's like, I think you should be doing this. And the administration thinks they should be doing that. And like, that's fair. No?
Sure. I definitely agree. that that's fair. But then there's the extracurriculars. And it's not Marjorie. I don't actually speak on Marjorie for this, but there's a lot of these people who used to be Trump fans. And they're Trump fans
Thanks,
up
MPA.
until 9 months ago, 10 months ago. And they used the Epstein thing as the pretext of why they're no longer Trump fans. And I think that's incredibly unfair. I think the president is the only reason we have Epstein files. Trump's administration in the first term arrested Jeffrey Epstein.
Whoa. He said that it's not fair to get off the MAGA wagon over the Epstein files. Dude, what are you talking about? This is some of the biggest shit that has gone on in this country. This shit right here will let us know if what everybody's thinking, that we're an occupied country. This shit right here has 9/11 all through and through it. This shit right here is trafficking, eating people, the damn boule and everything. And you're talking about this shit. It's still 3 million files. Blanche just conceded that he violated the law. Like, what are you talking about here? How can you tell people where to draw their fucking line? How can you tell people where they should or should not draw their line? I'm mad. People, reneged on their fucking line.
You know, he put him in bars, behind bars. He put him in jail. And yes, he died in jail. Do I think it was a suicide? You know, I'm probably with the internet on this one. But
you said not a single libtard had nothing to say until Trump was running for president. Grow the fuck up. I didn't know they was eating people, nigga. The fuck do you mean? I didn't know they was eating people. I didn't know they was hunting niggas. I didn't know they was hunting. They were hunting people. And then they was eating people. What the fuck do you mean? You act like I knew that shit. I didn't know that shit. Shit was in movies. What do you mean? The fuck are we talking about here?
But
definitely not.
But the president arrested him. He took him off the streets so he couldn't hurt any more people. And then he campaigned in 2024, and people said, oh, well, Trump campaigned on the Epstein files. And actually, he didn't campaign on that. He was asked by Lex Friedman, interesting character. He said, will you release the Epstein files? Trump said, yeah, I'd be inclined to do so. And then he did it. And guys like Thomas Massey like to take the credit for the release of the Epstein files. But during 4 years of...
Straight up, man. We sitting here talking about, we got damn Epstein over here. He got the 3 of the 5 people that wrote the Bitcoin code. He damn near bought the Bitcoin Foundation at the bottom. They were fucking using the video games to move millions and hundreds of millions of dollars and shit. What are we talking about here, man? It's a lot going on. We got 9/11. All the files that are missing are leading up to or immediately after 9/11. So fuck, drop the Epstein files. We might get 2 birds in 1 stone with that bad boy. What are we talking about here? What are we talking about?
So Joe Biden, the Biden Department of Justice was sitting on these files. How many times did Massey tweet about Epstein? 0. Not a single time for 4 years of Biden. And so a lot of people see, you know, some of these guys now, and Massey's never liked the president. Like Trump endorsing against Massey in this election isn't a response to him being critical of Epstein. Trump endorsed against Massey in 2020. Trump's never liked Massey. And, you know.
What's up, Loud?
He's an acquired taste. Not everybody likes Thomas Massey.
Right.
But it wasn't a response. He didn't lash out at Massey and endorse this guy against him.
It's crazy. The same people that say they don't give a fuck about the Epstein files will be like, oh, we need to know what happened with 9/11. Well, the Epstein files showed that Ghislaine Maxwell and them was on a shadow 9/11 commission. I think we need to tap into that too. So if you don't give a fuck about Trump diddling or doing whatever the fuck they're trying to say he did, then maybe you care about what happened with 9/11. And they said Ghislaine was invited to a 9/11 shadow commission in the Epstein files. So it would implore you to want to look at this shit.
Because of the Epstein files. He's never liked Massey. Massey's always been a thorn in some capacity. And so there was no cover-up. And I think people who suggest that there was a cover-up are not being honest. Could you disagree with the messaging rollout, the media rollout, the former attorney general strategy around it? Absolutely. I wasn't particularly thrilled about the binders. Nobody knew what the hell the binders came from, all right? But the president did not participate in a cover-up. In fact, he's the only reason that these documents are out. And he's also exonerated by it. There's 3 million documents that have been released. Not a single person can point to, oh, Donald Trump did something wrong. You know, the people who did do something wrong or appear to have done something wrong are guys like Reid Hoffman. Would I like the Department of Justice to go after Reid Hoffman? Yeah.
What's up,
I probably
Leo?
would. You know,
How about just call him in for questioning?
I would support that, absolutely.
I wonder why that hasn't happened.
Well, maybe it will. Maybe it will. But I think giving control of the government process to a handful of hysterics on social media is bad. I think it was bad for Epstein, with the Epstein files. I think it's bad right now for all of the hawks who are continuing to press the administration to continue the war.
I agree with that. I would also say, though, that the Attorney General at the time, Pam Bondi, gave an interview on Fox in which she said, I have thousands of files on my desk that show sexual abuse of kids. Mm-hmm. She said that. That's the Attorney General of the United States. And I've always liked Pam Bondi.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. He seems to me like one of those Q guys. Like he's giving me the vibes that he's probably, one of those Q guys.
It's not personal, but the attorney general says that and then no one gets indicted for it. You're like, you're the attorney general. You're the chief law enforcement officer of the nation. What the hell are you talking about?
I didn't hear the sexual abuse of kids part, but I did hear her say that I have these documents on my desk. Should she have said
thousands?
Should she have said that? Probably not.
Or maybe she should say it. By the way, I was glad that she said it. It wasn't that she said it. I want more disclosure. I want to know what the government is doing. That's my right, since I own the freaking government, not Pam Bondi. Right. I'm a citizen. But anyway, where's the follow-up? If you have the evidence, you told us you had the evidence, where are the arrests?
Well, it's a great question, and I think that a lot of people are asking the same thing. But the accusation that the president was involved in a nefarious cover-up, that's completely ludicrous. I think people like Rita Hoffman should absolutely be.
The thing about it is, like, mainstream media put that out there as well, that they were redacting Trump's name from thousands of pages, that they hired all of these agents just to go through and redact Trump's name out of it. They leaked the memos, the emails back and forth. They leaked the emails speaking about redacting Trump's name. It's not like people just pulled this shit out of their ass here. I mean, we didn't just pull this shit out of our ass. Chat, be sure to double tap the screen, hit the like button on your way in, and be sure to subscribe to the channel. We're 16 subscribers away from the next sub goal.
Brought in for questioning. And perhaps it will happen. I think Reid Hoffman is one of the worst characters in America, not just for that. He was also a financier of E. Jean Carroll, if you remember her, the woman who accused President Trump of harassing her in the 80s or 90s.
I didn't see that,
I'm pretty sure, I can't prove it, but I'm pretty sure that he helped suck me into a lawsuit I had nothing to do with and tried to destroy my life. I've never met the guy. I got nothing to do with him. I was just giving opinions he doesn't like. So I get it. But look, if you want people to trust the government, we need more disclosure, more follow-up. I mean, that's true of every administration, including this one. And
that's what I'm going to say, though, Jared. Doesn't it make sense? If Trump has sued mainstream media for all of this shit, right? Why didn't he sue him for that? Why didn't he sue him for them allegedly trying to remove his name from the Epstein files? If that was a bullshit story, why didn't he sue him for that? He sued him for every fucking thing else.
I don't know. From my perspective, it's the war.
Yeah.
It's the war that
Libertarian comes through supporting the channel via Super Chat. Thank you, Libertarian. Says, full disclosure will only come when the people take back the reins of this country. We will then have everything they have hidden revealed. Most definitely, Lunatic Libertarian. How that unfolds and how that looks, I don't know. But eventually, full disclosure will be granted.
I talked to Trump multiple times about Epstein. My advice to him, which he ignored, was this has really nothing to do with you. It's like Reid Hoffman, reassure people by bringing the guilty to justice, or at least investigating it in a transparent way. It didn't happen. But I didn't really say anything about it in public. It was the war that just absolutely distressed me. And I've talked about it probably too much already. But when Trump ate this, basically said, we're going to do things we don't want to do because it's in the best interest of the country, this MOU.
Mm-hmm.
No one wants the MOU, but it's better than the alternative. I admired that. I said so. And I immediately see these people who were like Trump's best friends, true MAGA people, like Mark Levin and the rest, they're the true MAGA. Yeah. You can't get anywhere near MAGA. You don't know what MAGA is. Okay, son. All of a sudden, they're like, Trump's a bigot or whatever. Yeah. You know what I mean? Or J.D. Vance is an anti-Semite. That's where, I was like, I thought that was the most interesting thing I've ever seen.
Yeah, it was certainly coordinated, absolutely. And
by whom?
It's a good question. There's people that certainly speculate. And look, I think Mark Levin, I think he's friends with the president. And maybe he's friends with the president. But Mark Levin was a guy. I
don't think Trump likes Mark Levin at all.
Mark Levin was somebody who opposed Trump in 2016.
Yeah.
He actually encouraged his audience in 2016 to stay home, don't vote in the general election. He was a DeSantis supporter in 2024. So he's not like this ultra MAGA guy. And so it's a little frustrating. Look, I've disagreed strongly with many statements that you've made recently. And so all these coordinated accounts, right? They're saying, Alex, You call out Mark Levin, but you don't call out Tucker. Why? And to be honest, I think that's kind of a fair point. You've criticized the president, and I haven't called you out. And I haven't called you out for a couple of reasons.
Call me out.
On social media, because I know you personally.
Yeah.
And I'd rather have a conversation with you about where I disagree on in person, rather than being a keyboard warrior. I don't know Mark Levin personally, so I have a philosophy in my life. If I don't know you personally, I can hit you on social media. If I don't, I'll have a conversation to your face.
I generally agree with that.
So, early on, when the war started, there was predictions by some voices, including you, that striking Iran could lead to World War III. Voices like Ian Carroll, who's also been on the program, predicted that we'd put ground troops in Iran by now. Those predictions haven't materialized, and so I think saying that it would be important to the audience. I think there's a lot of hysterics on both sides of the issue.
Right, but that's not the only thing. I mean, the doomsday clock got to the closest point it's been to midnight ever since it's been invented. It's not just damn Tucker Carlson and a few other people. I mean, shit was going on. You got Zelensky and Putin going on. You got India and Pakistan going on. You got Israel, Lebanon, the 8th Front War. You got America involved. You got China running drills around Taiwan. You got Kim Jong-un testing new fucking missiles. You got Trump launching that warhead off the coast of California that's 20 Hiroshima. Shit was going on. Shit was you can't sit here and act like shit wasn't going on.
Issue. Early on,
the president threatened to eliminate the civilization of Iran, so that would qualify as World War III. He threatened to put ground troops on the Karg Island and mainland Iran many, many, many times on Truth Social. I've been reading it for 3 months. None of that happened. I'm so grateful. Yeah. I don't care.
But I'll just say it didn't happen because it didn't not happen because of pushback of voices like Ian Carroll. And then they come out and they take a victory lap and say, see, we prevented this from that. Nobody's listening to the grifters on the pro-war side or the anti-war side.
Well, let me just correct the record and say I am under no illusions about my power. Yeah. I don't seem to have any power to change any event, unfortunately.
I think you have a very powerful voice.
No, I don't.
No,
I argued with Trump for 10 years against doing this. He took other counsel. That shows you how much power I have, 0. And so I was not able to prevent this, and I don't think I had any role in ending it.
So how do y'all feel about Tucker Carlson having influence? How do y'all feel about a guy, let's just say, a guy, Tucker Carlson, a political commentator, having influence over the president of the United States? I think it's a little crazy, bro. I'm just going to be honest. I think that shit's a little crazy.
So I just want you to know, I don't think I had any effect.
But I just think that, the hysterics started off as being the anti-war hysterics. And maybe they had reason to be. The president's position on Iran, I don't believe has changed. For 30 years, you can find statements of him saying Iran should never have a nuclear weapon. In 90 days, he delivered on that promise. He struck them, okay. 90 days later, MOU says Iran will not seek nuclear enrichment. He never wanted to do a forever war. He never was going to put boots on the ground. If he has to, I'm sure he will. But I don't think we have to. But his position hasn't changed. He also is against forever wars. He's always been against forever wars. So I think that doing a quick military excursion is different than obviously Iraq and Afghanistan and what the neocons' fever dream is. Mark Levin probably wants to send 1 million American troops.
There's no doubt about it.
And the president is not about that. And so I think there was a lot of hysterics who just they don't know who the president is, and they're acting like he was inconsistent on his positions when I don't think he actually was.
So lots of reasons to get obsessed with Mars men. Low testosterone, and he's like, we're out. This is too much. Can't deal with it. We're going to run out of oil. Mm-hmm. You're not going to be able to get gasoline. Like, that's terrible for America. We're stopping. What caused that change?
What's up, Joe?
I believe he felt the mission was accomplished. And it goes back to the fact that he is not somebody who wants forever wars. He's not somebody who wants forever conflict. He felt that he was able to deliver on his campaign promise of preventing Iran from ever having a nuclear weapon in a little over 90 days. And we have the Iranians now at the table negotiating a deal with J.D. Vance and our team.
Hey, Chad, I need everyone to double tap that screen for me right now. We got to get the likes up. Everyone in here hit the like button. We'll shoot past the next like goal. We also go live every single day over here at 10 p.m. Central Time. Be sure to subscribe to the channel.
And I think the president is happy where things lay. And now people on, Mark Levin crowd, who were the president's biggest cheerleaders, are now opposed to what he's doing because they have a different agenda for Iran. They have a different vision for how to handle Iran. And I think that's wrong. But the president's position has been considered.
Yeah, Tucker was born, I don't know where he was born, but his first job was for in Arkansas. Tucker's first job was in Arkansas. I seen the interview he did with Mike Huckabee, and they talked about how they were friends when Tucker used to work for, I think, the Gazette, the Arkansas Gazette.
You can find videos of him in 1987 saying Iran should never have a nuclear weapon. And he was given certain intelligence on how to take it out, and he did. And he eliminated their Navy.
That intelligence did not come from the United States.
He eliminated the Navy. He eliminated their Air Force. And he has got them at the table to ensure that they never have a nuclear weapon.
So, but this was my complaint from the beginning, and I'm not here to defend the IC or 18 intelligence agencies, but there was no American intelligence that said Iran was on the brink of building a nuclear weapon. That came from Israel, and they lie, and they lied to Trump. And I told him that, before this started, because it was obvious. So, why would the United States ever rely on Israeli intelligence again if they just lied us into a war that got a bunch of Americans killed and that raised gas prices?
It's very sad to see the loss of the soldiers' lives, and I know the president was certainly upset about that. Look, I think that the president accomplished his goal there, and with the MOU, I think people are confident we're in a good spot. I think the president obviously will reserve the right to respond again with military action if he feels like things are going sideways. But
as what happened
I think
today,
the president is now focused. The president is focused on domestic issues.
That's what happened today. They said that Iran attacked the ship coming out of the Strait of Hormuz. So today, America retaliated. So I don't know if the ceasefire is over. I don't know.
Lowering gas prices, lowering economic prices, bring job opportunities back home. I think the foreign excursions have been successful, and now it's time to focus on home. On the Israeli point again, I think this proves that the president isn't a slave to Israel.
Apparently, or he's broken free. He's broken his fetters.
I don't think
I support.
I don't think the president was ever a slave to Israel, and I think characterizing it as that was not fair. I'm friends with 8 years ago. I became friends with Bibi Netanyahu's son Yair.
Yeah,
he's a nice guy. There was a moment in time.
Is he fighting in Lebanon right now?
I actually haven't talked to him in a while, man.
Oh, I think he's in Miami, but whatever. Okay.
I don't think he's in Miami. I invited him to my wedding. So for the people who call me anti-Semitic, I invited the prime minister.
They're calling you anti-Semitic.
They call me anti-Semitic now. So I invited the prime minister of Israel's son to my wedding because, and he's a friend of mine.
Yeah.
But there was a moment in time where
I know him for the record.
The president, after the 2020 election, and, didn't have a great relationship with Bibi. Bibi was the first world leader to congratulate Joe Biden.
I remember
after the rigged 2020 election, and I think that's made people feel a little bit different about that relationship. The president now has a great working relationship with him, but he's certainly not a slave to Bibi or a slave to Israel. And I think people who suggest that are not being fair.
I've been unfair many times in my life, and I've overstated things dramatically many times, and I certainly have been mean, and I really regret that. So I just want to offer another blanket apology for my bad behavior. Those are my main sins. But I still don't get it. Why, if no one in your cabinet is enthusiastic about this, no one in your intel services says, yes, they're on the brink of sending a nuclear tipped ICBM into Miami. If all of them that's not true, you turn and you take Israel
All right, chat. Was the 2020 election rigged? In your opinion, was the 2020 election rigged or not rigged? Let me know down in the comments. Rigged or not rigged? Everyone double tap the screen and hit the like button as well.
Really intelligence, which is like fraudulent, obviously fraudulent, and act on that. What is that?
It also goes back to instincts. Again, the president has been on this position for 30 years. And
we had a war in June that he said ended the Iran nuclear program. I talked to him constantly about that. And he's like, no, we're done. We're done. And then a few months later, we're like ramping up for another war. And I was like, well, I thought we eliminated that.
Well,
you can see why I'd be mystified.
Sure.
Slavery was the most obvious explanation, but maybe I'm wrong.
It's certainly not slavery. It's certainly not slavery. I think it's the president's instincts, and the president wanted to do it. And so he did it. And, there's this report that he's telling people, I'm president and you're not, right?
Yeah.
So, you have people on your team. Sometimes you listen to them. Sometimes you don't. Sometimes you want their opinion. Sometimes you don't. And, you do it with your show. I do it with my company.
I totally agree.
So,
well, that's clearly
it
true.
It was the president's instincts. It certainly wasn't blackmail related to Epstein. It certainly wasn't.
Okay, chat. Was the 2024 election rigged? Was the 2024 election rigged? Put rigged or not rigged in the comments. 2024 election only.
Being a slave to a foreign country. So I think that.
But I felt that
Yeah,
I
we
respect
live.
Trump's instincts. They made him president twice.
Damn, I didn't mean to yell like that.
He's had an amazing life. And I think it's been on the basis of his instincts.
Yeah.
So I have maximum respect for Trump's instincts and for his understanding of people and for power dynamics. Like, the guy has got like X-ray vision. He's not good on details sometimes, but he's incredibly precise in his big picture understanding of people. And I felt that he went against his own instincts in launching this war. He knew the risks. He's not a crazy risk taker, actually. He talks a big game. This is my analysis anyway.
Yeah.
But he's not actually that reckless, really. I mean, he's been successful. You can't live for 80 years and be that reckless, right? This was really reckless. And I felt that he didn't want to do it. I can't read his soul. Like, maybe he really secretly did want to do it. That was definitely not my impression, having talked to him a lot about it. So then I'm like, okay, you didn't want to do it. No one around you wanted to do it. Why'd you do it?
I believe the president did want to eliminate their nuclear capabilities. And he also eliminated their ability to have a Navy and an Air Force and a missile program.
Cares?
So, he did it. And now the excursion, I don't even like to call it a war because it was a 90-day blip. And yes, we sadly lost some lives, and God rest their souls. But the excursion, as it appears to be coming to an end. And I can't imagine that these hysterical voices on social media are going to prolong it. So,
yeah, I mean, that's really it. I mean, I've given my.
I'm gonna be honest, man. Of all the elections that I can think of that was rigged, bro, I gotta go back to what happened in Florida, bro. That I was young then, and I still remember what happened in Florida, bro. Now, I don't know, bro. That shit was rigged, bro. I remember what happened in Florida, bro.
We differ in our analysis of the war, but I don't want to argue about it. What I want to understand is how public opinion on the question is shaped, and you're one of the experts on this topic.
Would love to dive in on this one.
Okay, so, and by the way, if you ever discover that anti-war sentiment is being funded by a foreign power, text me, because I'd love to know who's paying for it, how I can get on that payroll.
I think you're doing okay. That studio is great.
It's so fun. We had this long before the show.
Yeah.
This is just our family barn. But so there's that. But let's prolong the war on behalf of the Netanyahu regime. That does seem to be funded by somebody, because that's not an organic position in the United States. There's not, as you said, 67% in favor of the MOU. So it's not like there's a groundswell of public support for following this lunatic path even further. So who is paying for that?
That's a great question. And for getting foreign influence out of the political ecosystem, specifically online, is it's a passion project of mine.
Yeah.
I am Trump's social media guy. That's when I'm branded in the press.
Yeah.
So you can only imagine the type of money that these countries and other companies have tried to throw at me. I do not take any foreign money. I don't take any money from the Gulf countries. I don't take any money from India. I don't take any money from Russia, China, no foreign countries.
How much could you make if you wanted to?
I've probably rejected close to $20 million in contracts over the last 15 months.
Damn.
Yeah.
How old are you?
I'm 29.
That takes some restraint.
So, you know, it's, I've had a really interesting.
That shit is called delayed gratification. Delayed gratification. He know that money. If he getting 20 million offers now, he know it could be 200. Damn, Chad. A fucking spider was on me, boy. Damn.
Interesting career. I've made some money. I made no money. I made, you know, and I'm not really focused on money. And I think that's what separates me from a lot of my colleagues or competitors, if you will, in Washington.
I did kill it, la. It's a damn black one.
However, I've actually never shared this publicly. In June of 2025, mid-June, shortly after the first Iran strike happened, I got a message from a friend, and he texted me when I was on an airplane. He said, "Alex, great news from Israel." And I want to.
Hey, it wasn't like that last spider, though. This was kind of a little bitty spider, man. Do y'all remember that one spider I killed on stream and showed y'all? That motherfucker was like this big. Chat, do y'all remember that one spider I killed on stream?
I'll read the message so I don't butcher anything that was said. At 2:47 on June 16th, 2025. Good news from Israel. They have budget for the American market to make a strategy and social network against Iran. I talked about you and they want to work with you. It is through a foundation. Call me when you can and I'll tell you all of the details. I said, I appreciate you thinking of me. Likely can't get involved with this one.
Good for you. So what's in your toothpaste if you're using the...
Yeah, that spider I killed at the old setup at the old studio, that bad boy was kind of big, man. It jumped. Like, we were sitting here on stream and the spider jumped. Like I'm talking about it when I say it jumped, like it jumped. And so I had the little all natural spray, you know, the little spider spray, but it's like all natural, no chemicals and shit. Man, I hit it with the spray. It jumped again. That motherfucker jumped again. And yeah, I had to hawk him down. See, this one right here was just, you know, a little spider. Like, this shit was a little spider, one of those little, you know, little get him out the way. But that other one, oh, he was a soldier. He wasn't going for that shit.
Reached out to work on an Israeli social media campaign related to Iran. Brad gets this social media contract with Israel. Paid through by a German.
This video, I got the title on the screen. It's Trump social media advisor reveals all Epstein, Iran, Mark Levin's Israeli propaganda. This is on Tucker Carlson's channel.
Entity called Havis Media Group. And I'm going to read you a part of Brad's initial FARA filing related to his deliverables for this particular contract.
Oh yeah, man, I'm from the South, man. That shit is like flies in a grill, man. When I see little spiders and mosquitoes and ants and shit, man, that's like flies in the grill, man. I kill them and keep going. I don't even put a little second thought into it, man. That shit's flies in a grill.
It says, quote, production and delivery of a minimum of 100 root creative assets per month, spanning video, audio, graphic, and written formats. Creation of 5,000 monthly variants of creative. At least 80% of content is tailored to Gen Z audiences across platforms, including TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, podcasts, and other relevant.
No, see, y'all missing it. I know I'm a little too country for some of y'all. Flies in a grill is like a car. You know, you got the grill on your car When you hit bugs like flies and shit, what happens? You kill them and you keep going. And when you stop, you got bugs all on your damn grill or you got flies in the grill. Kill them and keep going.
Relevant digital and broadcast outlets. Integration. Oh, here's the kicker. Integration of narrative messaging into Salem Media Network properties and aligned distribution channels. And then lastly on this section, paid media campaigns delivering a minimum of 50 million impressions per month with a target average CPM under USD $2 across the combined budget pool. So that's what the FARA filing says.
Wow.
That's what it says. And
so that means that the Israeli government is paying Brad Parscale to spread its propaganda in the United States through various vectors, most of whom are MAGA influencer types.
So it doesn't specify MAGA influencer types actually in that contract. I just don't know what he's getting paid $1.5 million a month for. And then actually the most recent report that I saw on Twitter, on X, sorry for dead naming it. Yeah, it's very offensive. Let's see. This was reported by a gentleman named Nick Cleveland Stout. Never heard of this guy. But he sent an updated filing that he found that shows the Israeli government is now paying former Trump campaign manager and Salem media executive Brad Parscale $46 million in 1 year. And he also adds, for some perspective, Saudi Arabia pays Ballard, one of the most connected firms in Trump's Washington, $60,000 a month.
46 million?
That's what it says.
So who's on Salem Media Network?
Well, so I don't want to speculate or accuse anybody.
No, I just want, because the FARA filing says, but we'll disseminate our propaganda through Salem. So
that's what it says, right?
Yeah.
So Josh Hammer, I'm not sure if you're familiar with him. He's a very
here we go.
He's got a very low-rated podcast. He's I think he's a columnist. He was
never heard of Josh Hammer until he started hassling Charlie Kirk. But yeah,
he was a big DeSantis supporter. He's at Salem Media Network. He's one of the loudest critics against the Iran war. You have people like Larry Elder, which is surprising, because Larry Elder is typically a pro-Trump cheerleader.
Mm-hmm.
He's been very critical of the Iran war. There's a lot of other these radio hosts who are syndicated on Salem who have been opposed. Hugh Hewitt, obviously, but Hugh's always appreciated war, to be honest. So I don't think his positions have changed.
Yeah.
So it says right there in the contract, in this initial filing, that he's integrating messaging into Salem properties. Salem also owns Red State, Town Hall, Podcast Network. They also have an influencer network. So, I would love to know what Brad is actually doing with this money. I know certainly that part of the project is to help coach AI chatbots into being more pro-Israel, less anti-Semitic. Look, I think there has been a rise of anti-Semitism in the country. You might disagree with me. I think anti-Semitism is high. It's wrong. I see some incidents in Brooklyn. I think it's wrong. I think hate against any religious group.
I couldn't agree more. I've said that many times.
So I'm not opposed to
opposing Bibi's foreign policy is not anti-Semitism.
Right. I'm not opposed to Brad getting paid to combat anti-Semitism. But what does that mean?
Well, that's it. What does that mean?
What are the deliverables?
When anti-white hate is encoded in the U.S. legal code, when hate against white men is like the foundational fact of college admissions, federal contracting, hiring, and we're spending all of our time worried about whether people are being rude to Bill Ackman, this is just a misalignment. This is not reality. Okay.
So I also want to just add for context to the viewers and the people who are going to clip this, that Israel isn't the only country that has paid for influencer support in America.
I'm sure that's right. Ukraine has paid a ton.
There was recently a field trip with a bunch of right-wing influencers, if you will, who visited Russia. So I don't think that they paid for that trip out of their own pocket.
I don't know.
And
he talking about Candace Owens. Look at Tucker eyes. Candace just went to Russia. How long ago? Wasn't she in Russia last week or the week before? Look at Tucker eyes when he said that shit.
So, they went to Russia, they go hang out with the Russians and whatever. I don't have,
You should pay your own way.
I don't have particular issues with people visiting a country.
Right.
My issues lie in, do you visit the country and then change the way you speak about the country or use your platform to talk about the country? Qatar had a similar situation during December. Some influencers who used to be opponents to Qatar, they flew to Qatar in December, and then they did some beautiful posts about Qatar. I also think that's wrong. My position is, if it's Israel, if it's Qatar, if it's Russia, if it's China, if it's India, you should not be able to pay. I don't think Qatar paid the influencers. I think they came on a trip and then they posted nice things about the country. I still think there should be some level of disclosure around that. I don't care what country it is. You should be disclosing if you are in any.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, bro. This shit is. He really just pulled the power move on fucking Tucker Carlson, bro. So he said he disagreed with Tucker Carlson, and instead of bashing Tucker Carlson, he would sit down and have this convo with him. And then he just said about the group of right-wing influencers that went to Russia. And then he's speaking about going to Russia and coming back and changing the way you view the country. Tucker interviewed Putin. And Elon retweeted that interview, and it took Tucker Carlson to new fucking leaps and bounds. Especially over there on X. Elon was really pumping a lot of Tucker Carlson content out at that time. Oh shit. Yeah, he just pulled a power move on Tucker. He's flexing his muscles right here a little bit.
Any way, shape, or form promoting the interests of another different country.
I think that's right.
My focus recently has been on Israel because of this massive contract that they've engaged in with Brad, that nobody knows what the hell he's doing with the $46 million.
So I texted him to find out, because a lot of that money has gone to attacking me and my family, which obviously I resent, though.
Libertarian, why did they permaban you? Why did they permaban you on X? I love YouTube. Why did they permaban you on X?
Trying to think about it too much. Don't want to become what they call you. But anyway, I know Brad Parscale. I've always felt sorry for him.
Yeah.
I still do. He's a troubled man. But I did think he would at least respond to my text. He didn't.
Yeah.
So I have you called him?
No, I haven't called him, and he hasn't called me. He responded to one of my tweets. He responded to my tweet saying that, so I asked him, I said, hey, Brad, like, what's up with this? Why are so many Salem media personalities trashing President Trump's war? Here's the FARA filing saying that you're going to integrate messaging into Salem media properties. And Brad responded to me, and he said, Alex, I actually want to thank you for bringing this up. I don't know who pissed in your Cheerios this morning, but what you're looking at was an original draft, not what happened. We never executed that plan. We never paid hosts or influencers to say anything. That's the beauty of FARA. The receipts exist. Well, the only receipt that exists right now is Brad's initial contract, where it says point blank, we're going to integrate messaging. So he's saying he's not doing it. So what is he doing with this $46 million?
You said who's using Twitter anymore? A lot of people. And Elon just rolled out basically a fintech. He just integrated a fintech inside of Twitter. So some of the X premium users are able to use X as like a bank account now, and they're getting 6% yield. I don't know. The 6% yield, of course, is not going to be sustainable. But for the promotional, whatever they got going on right now, Elon's saying, hey, load that shit up. We're giving you 6% yield right now, 6%. And people are doing it. They're trying to make it like WeChat. Payments, social media, everything all in one.
And
you're in this business. You, obviously, you're one of the most famous people in the business. You may be the most famous person in the business. Have you ever heard of anybody getting $46 million from a single client?
No, and even his $1.5 million a month, his initial FARA filing, I believe is the single largest FARA single FARA filing for one entity in history.
Really? I have no perspective on this. Okay, so that's crazy.
So if you ask ChatGPT,
I'm not gonna lie, Longbone. You said Facebook is just AI and old people now. I love YouTube, but Facebook is cutting them fucking checks right now. I'm not big on Facebook. I don't have a big following on Facebook, but I know a few people from my local area, and Facebook is cutting them a damn check right about now. But I love YouTube.
GPT or whatever chat platform you use. I prefer Grok, to be honest.
Yes.
You know, because I trust Elon more than I trust Altman. But I asked Grok, what's the largest FARA filing for one entity to date? And it came back with some $9 million contract that I think Nigeria paid. I don't know what the hell Nigeria needs to do, but you know, they paid it. So one country, $9 million. Brad's initial contract, $1.5 million a month. You do the math, was that $15 million a year? Now it's up to $46 million, according to a recent report. And again, they're not paying him for his relationships in the White House. I don't think Brad Parscale could get a meeting in the West Wing to save his life, specifically not in the Oval Office. You know, I don't think people still remember what he did during the 2020 election. Okay. But he's going around different countries. And if you pull up his website, it's called clocktowerx.com. He spells out exactly the services that his company offers. And so, you know, I think that he should clear the air on the services that he's providing for these foreign countries. I'm going to go to his website right now, clocktowerx.com. It starts off with a header that says narrative infrastructure. The system already shapes what people believe. We help determine who prevails. Elections, narratives, markets, we don't react. We shape the conditions they operate in. Talks about how they've had $2 billion plus in influenced outcomes. No clue what that means. It says that they work in 10 plus countries. They're deployed in 10 plus countries. Then it says, if you've heard about our work, it wasn't ours.
So Todd.
And then it gets into some of the services that they offer. They offer narrative intelligence, continuous monitoring of the information landscape to identify leverage points before competitors, audience segmentation, behavioral mapping across millions of data points to identify the nodes that move markets, message testing. Here's one, influencer ecosystems, managed networks that amplify narratives through credible distributed voices. That's on this guy's website that he gets paid millions and millions of dollars.
46 million. Yeah.
So right there on his website, influencer ecosystems. So I think Brad should, you know, if he's doing it, I think it's wrong. I can't say for definitively that he's doing it, but these are the services that are offered on the website: cross-channel distribution, performance analytics.
Now, Libertarian, shout out to Set, but what the hell does Set going live got to do with me right now? I mean, shout out to him. I fuck with Set, but what the hell do that got to do with me going live right now? I mean, with what we doing in here right now?
You know, and
oh, you saying you gonna go show some love to him? Okay, all right, Libertarian, appreciate that. Tell him I said what up, and I hope he has a great stream when you get over there, man. Tell him Plug sends his warm wishes, and I hope he has a great stream.
So.
I must say I've noticed that every Salem media property that I'm aware of has the same view. You know, more war is good. I'm an anti-Semite. Both those are two lies, by the way. I'm not an anti-Semite, and war is not good. You're an anti-Semite. They all have the same view. Now, maybe it's just that every Salem host or influencer or whatever they're calling themselves is like crazy in exactly the same.
Hey, I fuck with Bando too. But I'm not finna post no picture. And listen, Bando got his own sauce going on right now. And I'm going to let Bando sauce be Bando sauce. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Bando. You know what I'm saying? Straight up. I'm going to let Bando sauce be Bando sauce.
Same way. But maybe there's more to it than that.
Maybe. And a lot of these same influencers have been, organized against you for the last year, consistently against you for the last year. A lot of there's one account, for example, named Yale Jacoby. I'm not sure, you probably have never heard of this kid, but all he does every day is he tweets about you. The only time I see any of your clips are on the accounts of people attacking you.
Really?
I don't watch, similar to you, I don't really watch podcasts.
Yeah.
But the only time I see people's clips are people attacking you. Your clips are when people are attacking you. E.L. Jacoby, I was looking this morning.
Who is he?
It's just some influencer, if you will. And these are non-influential influencers, I call them. But he certainly is involved.
Oh, chat, be sure to hit the like button on your way in. I know a lot of you guys forget to subscribe to the channel, so please subscribe to the channel. We go live every single night over at 10 p.m. Central Time. We're 25 likes away from the next like goal and 26 subscribers from the next sub goal.
And he's certainly been paid for some of his tweets. Do I know that he's been paid for tweets against you or against the Iran war? I can't say that for certain. But he was not honest. He's not honest about tweets that he is paid for. And then, so would I be shocked if he was paid for some of them? I don't know. But he's tweeted about you probably 1,200 times.
Seriously?
Yes. In the last 8 months.
All complimentary?
No, all negative, unfortunately for you. But, and look, I agree with some of his criticism. I don't think but I don't see it organic. People, he's one of the loudest voices who keeps tagging.
Certainly you can't punish people for something they didn't do.
Yeah.
It's just that simple. That's why segregation is wrong. That's why the anti-white racism
You
that
might
dominates
already
American
be
life is wrong.
TBR.
That's why anti-Semitism is wrong. That's why any world.
Yeah, Max, why are you blocking Amber? What happened with Amber? Amber not hidden, but why Amber get her messages removed? What she was talking about?
View that punishes people who didn't commit a crime is always and everywhere wrong. And that would include attacking people's families. If they didn't do anything.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's true.
Anyway.
Yeah, y'all don't mute the paid members. Let me handle that. If they got a damn green on their name, y'all let me time them out. Leave the members alone.
That's why also, like the blanket like Jew haters. There's people who are critical of Israel, and then there's people who like tweet things like totally anti-Jew things. I think the anti-Jew, the Jews control everything crowd, I think they are not the brightest as well.
Yeah, look, attacking people for things they didn't do is wrong, period. I would like this administration to take the anti-white stuff seriously and stop lecturing me, telling me that anti-Semitism is the biggest problem in America. It's not. You have a much tougher time getting into the Ivy Leagues. You would not know this from the behavior of the Justice Department if you're white than if you're Jewish. So that's a fact. It's provable. These numbers came out in court. And it's unfashionable to say that. I don't care. And by the way, if Jews or blacks or Filipinos or anybody was being discriminated in the way that whites are being discriminated against, I would be opposed to it vocally, and I'm opposed to it.
Well, if you look at a lot of the job creation in our country, a lot of the new jobs have gone to natural-born white Americans in the Trump presidency.
Look, I don't know those numbers. I don't know if
also
that's
I don't know.
true,
I don't know if I want more Americans going to universities.
I just think all I'm saying is, as a principle, this is the core principle of America: that you are judged by who you are.
Yeah.
As a person, not by the group.
I don't think that the administration is overly prioritizing the protection of Jewish communities.
Are you joking?
I don't think they're.
Have you listened to Leo Terrell recently?
That's Leo's job.
His job? Is there an anti-black czar? Is it anti-black racism? Is there an anti-white racism czar? This is insane.
I think there should be. Maybe there should be.
How about we just treat everybody the same?
So I agree with you on that point, but I don't think that
That's
the
just
Department.
identity politics.
I don't think that the Department of Justice wakes up in the morning and thinks, how can we personally protect Jewish Americans over?
Yes, they do. Are you joking?
I don't think
they reached a settlement with look, I just want to be clear as I've been all along, that I oppose any kind of discrimination on religious grounds and on secular humanist grounds.
Yeah.
It's just wrong. Always judge the person, not the blood type. However, they went after Harvard and Yale and Columbia and Cornell and Princeton and Dartmouth, the Ivy League, on the basis of anti-Semitism. Well, to the extent they're anti-Semitic, they should not get federal money. I totally agree with that. But everybody knows, because it's been proven, that the barrier at those schools is being a white Christian male.
Yeah.
And no one mentioned that.
Yeah.
So it's like, what the hell are you doing? You're telling me I live in a world and have for 57 years in this country where being a white male is a disadvantage in official America, in hiring, federal contracting, and school admissions.
Tucker got to cut it out, bro. I was muted, but Tucker got to cut it out, bro. Tucker got to cut it out. They did the study. Being black on a job application is equal to having a felony. Workday just had to settle a damn lawsuit about discriminating against blacks on the damn app, on the applications. Tucker Carlson, cut it out. Cut it out. Cut it out. Being black is equivalent to having a felony when you apply for a job. It's crazy, bro.
And no one says anything about it?
That's fair. That's fair. I think that obviously they've probably also discriminated against Asians at the
100%, which is totally wrong.
It is wrong. And I mean, David Hogg got accepted into Harvard. That's how you know that the institution failed. All right.
Bill Ackman went to Harvard. The guy's a moron.
Yeah. But
how do these people get into Harvard?
I think that higher education totally needs an overhaul. And I don't encourage young people to go.
I of course, I agree with you passionately, strongly, but I just think even more important than overhauling college is reminding every American that you're judged on your own merits, period. And to the extent that the federal government, we have laws on the books. We have a civil rights division that's supposed to be enforcing this, which is not making it a priority. I'm sorry. Sorry, they're not. And I got a call today from someone in the administration. Well, stop, they're doing some work. It's like they could end it tomorrow. We will not allow discrimination in our country, period, no matter who you are, whether you're black, Jewish, white, Asian, doesn't matter. And they won't do it because their donors are single-mindedly focused on one of many forms of discrimination, which is not the most prevalent form. So I'm pissed. And I'm going to keep saying this until they change their ways.
Well, I'm not going to tell you to stop.
Sorry. No. I was just I had this furious text exchange with some of the administration this morning. It's like, we're doing stuff. I was like, this is one problem we could actually solve. No more discrimination. It's totally unchecked on the left too. They're always lecturing about white men.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, the left is certainly the worst offenders at that.
Just openly racist.
Right. They are openly racist and they're proud of it. And so I think that's why, we're talking, I know that you said you're leaving the Republican Party.
Yeah.
Which,
I want to come back.
I understand your frustration with the party. I had the frustration all the time as well. I'm frustrated right now. I'm sitting here on this podcast while the Senate refuses to pass the Save America Act.
Exactly.
That would enforce voter ID. But
That's not hard. Why can't they do that?
Well, maybe they don't want to save our country. So maybe they don't want to save our country, but we're doing the best.
Wait, can I just ask you a question? Why? That's such an easy one.
Yeah.
That's a priority that I strongly share with the administration. Why not have voter ID if you're going to be a country who chooses its leaders through elections?
Right. I think this might be the most common sense piece of legislation
totally
that's ever
agree.
come through the Senate, but for whatever reason, there's obstruction to it.
But who's obstructing it? Do you know?
Well, we have a leader in the Senate who just can't get the job done. And maybe he can get it done, but he hasn't shown that he can get it done, and he hasn't really made it a priority. I think this is a major priority for Republican voters. It's a major priority of President Trump, who is the only reason that we have a Republican-controlled Senate and we have a Republican-controlled Congress. And I think oftentimes Republicans forget that. And in Congress, they forget that. The only reason the Republicans have any power in Washington, D.C. is because of Donald Trump and the MAGA movement. And time again, Congress drops the ball. And so I hear your frustration.
That's it. If you vote for Republicans, they can't even get a voter ID law passed.
That's why the primaries are so important. And we're working in the primaries. We took out Tillis. We took out Cornyn. We took out Cassidy. We're taking out some of the weakest Republicans on our team. And so the primaries process is where I believe that people like you should be taking out your anger. I just think you've gotten behind some of the wrong candidates. I think James Fishback, by the way, that guy tried to.
You said, what do I think about this? I don't know, bro. I think Tucker's taking the Nick Fuentes approach. Nick Fuentes dipped his foot in the water when he said that he wasn't gonna he was gonna vote Democrat or don't vote at all midterm. So to get I think Tucker's taking that approach. The same thing that we say in a lot of these industries. The bigger creators are kind of see what the smaller creators are doing, test the waters, and then usurp that message and make it work for him. Yeah. I think it's a load of crap. Don't think he's leaving the Republican Party. I think he's just saying this to garner some attention, man, to make people look like, oh shit, Tucker's leaving. No, the fuck he's and go where? Tucker's leaving and going where?
To scam me. James Fishback hit me up asking me for $50,000 into an investment fund before he was LARPing as a presidential or governor candidate.
You don't like Fishback, but I like him.
Chat, subscribe to the channel. We're 15 subscribers away from the next sub goal. Be sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the like button on your way in.
But I don't know that much about him. I just don't think that the state of Florida should be limiting the First Amendment, the God-given First Amendment rights of Floridians because Israel demands it, which is exactly what they did. That's not acceptable under any certain. My family's been here for like 400 years. Like, I'm not going to stand by and let that happen without saying something about it, period.
I hear you. I hear you on that. There was probably a different candidate you got behind than Fishback because that guy's bad news and he's not an honest person. And,
I don't know.
And I think you have a massive platform. When you put your platform to use you helped take out Dan Crenshaw. So I thank you for that. And President Trump didn't endorse Dan Crenshaw. So we've used this primary.
He didn't endorse that creepy fat guy from Florida who endorsed genocide, who laughed at a picture of a dead child in Gaza. That disgusting, I can't even remember his name, but he was
the only candidate that ran in that seat.
Why not get someone new? Like, why would you endorse that guy? That's why I said you've got to be a slave to Israel.
But now we have the flip side. You have Dan Bilzerian, right? We have two extremes running that race. Both I don't agree with, okay? So we have Dan Bilzerian, maybe one of the people who's helped bring degeneracy to young men in America more than anybody.
I don't know about that.
And Randy Fine. You know, maybe we need some better choices. Florida's been a great state for a long time. In my opinion, it's kind of hard to F Florida up. Florida's got
it's totally possible.
It's got low taxes. It's got beaches. It's got great weather.
Make it crowded and you'll destroy it. And they're doing that.
I think that's been a major. I think that's been one issue.
Let the developers run the state.
But this is happening under DeSantis.
I agree. I completely look. And there are things about DeSantis.
So Fishback's been dropping ad campaigns on Byron Donalds. One of them, the hook of the video is like, Byron Donalds is black. But that's not a reason why you shouldn't vote for him. It's this, and that. Then he has another one that he dropped, I think yesterday, that's like, Byron Donalds is a slave. And you know, shit like that. He's calling him a slave, and he's using double entendres and shit, saying, oh, I'm not saying he's a slave because he's black. I'm saying he's a slave because he took all of this AIPAC money. Yeah, he's using a lot of, double entendre. He's playing with words and shit.
DeSantis I really like. He's a very impressive guy. DeSantis, there's a lot about him that's impressive. That's just a fact. He's smarter than I am. But you have to take the big picture. You have to care about the people who live in the state, not just people who send money to your campaign. Whether it's AIPAC, whether worse than AIPAC, or the strip mall developers and the people who just want to pave the state, want to destroy nature to make a quick buck. Those people are worse than AIPAC, in my opinion.
Yeah. I've had some conversations with some data.
Don't you agree with that? You live in Florida.
I don't think that the Floridians want major data centers coming to their communities anymore.
I don't think they do.
But a lot of them are already there. And I've actually been talking to some data center developers who say, you actually don't need that much land anymore. And so there's concern.
But you need a lot of water and energy.
There's concern from some of the data centers that they're overbuilding. That, in a few years from now, the technology will be better, the energy resources will be better, and so you're not going to need a 2 million square foot.
Can I say one thing about Fishback, though? The effort in Florida has been to prevent Fishback from Beck. I don't think this show what close friends I am with him, but I like the guy. But why not just have a debate between Byron Donalds and Fishback?
That's a good question.
So voters can decide.
I would debate him.
But Byron Donalds won't because he's smoking.
Well,
that's
no,
why.
Part of it's because he's 60 points up. Fishback's, I don't even think he can qualify to become
no one will give him money, and no one will give him a hearing, and that's why I gave him a hearing.
I don't think that he's even qualified, because he's not lived in the state long enough, per my understanding.
Byron Donalds is from New York, okay?
But he moved there 20 plus years ago. Fishbeck was living in Washington, D.C. until just recently.
If you want to get into people's past,
and also,
I think actually Fishbeck is from the state. His family's been there for a long, long time, many generations. Byron Donalds moves to Florida and like immediately.
It's coming out. It's coming out, Chad. Tucker said he really wasn't fucking with James Fishback. He was like, that just showed you how well, and now he's defending him tooth and nail. He's going to war about this Fishback dude.
And I've actually been talking to some data center developers who say, you actually don't need that much land anymore. And so there's concern.
But you need a lot of water and energy.
There's concern from some of the data centers that they're overbuilding. That, you know, in a few years from now, the technology will be better, the energy resources will be better, and so you're not going to need a 2 million square feet.
Can I say one thing about Fishback though? Like,
yeah, so DeSantis fucked off like all of Florida's emergency money because they spent it on Alligator Alcatraz, and that project has been scrapped. Yeah, he fucked off all the money. They're waiting on the feds to reimburse them.
the effort in Florida has been to prevent Fishbeck from back. This show what close friends I am with him, but I like the guy. But why not just have a debate between Byron Donalds and Fishbeck?
That's a good question.
So voters can decide.
I would debate him,
but Byron Donalds won't because he's smoking.
Well,
that's
no,
why.
Part of it's because he's 60 points up. Fishbeck's, I don't even think he can qualify to become
no one will give him money, and no one will give him a hearing, and that's why I gave him a hearing.
I don't think that he's even qualified, because he's not lived in the state long enough, per my understanding.
Byron Donalds is from New York, okay,
but he moved there 20 plus years ago. Fishbeck was living in Washington D.C. until just recently.
If you want to get into people's past,
and also,
I think actually Fishbeck is from the state. His family's been there for a long, long time, many generations. Byron Donalds moves to Florida and immediately gets arrested on a felony charge. So that's not disqualifying, but as long as you're comparing backgrounds.
My biggest gripe with Fishbeck is he tried to scam me. Personally tried to scam me out of $50,000.
I don't know anything about that.
When he was pretending to be a financial expert running different funds.
How'd you know him?
I met him through Twitter. He used to be,
buyer beware, Alex.
He used to be one of the president's biggest defenders.
Do you do a lot of your investment deals through Twitter?
No.
Okay.
I don't do any of them. However,
anyone who approaches you for an investment opportunity on Twitter probably knows.
He's not just a Twitter guy, but he was a economic pundit on Fox. He was an economic pundit on CNN.
All right, man. Let's slide through here. Let's see what else is going on. Ted Cruz, Trump still friends. Internet is not reality. Netanyahu DeSantis. We'll go here.
I think Bibi's chronically online.
Really?
I think he very much cares about the sentiment about him on social media in America. That's why he saw, and he has the problem of people that are chronically on. Ron DeSantis was chronically online. We took advantage of him for being chronically online during the 24 primary.
Personally checking his phone?
Yes. Scrolling, seeing what people say about him.
Really?
And if you remember, DeSantis really had a moment when Trump was kind of in no man's land after the 2020 election.
Yes.
DeSantis started having his moment. And what he would do is he would see what was trending on right-wing X that day. The next day, he would do a press conference.
Yeah, or come on my show.
Or go on your show addressing that issue. And it made him seem like he was one of us, when in reality, he was just reading what we were talking about and then taking action.
No, that's smart.
It was a good political play.
No, it's totally right.
But he was chronically online. And so in 2024, when he ran for president, we muddied the water for him. Every time he looked on Twitter, people like me were tweeting about his boots and his choice of footwear or the makeup he was using that day. And we made X a place for him that he didn't like. And he kind of lost his mojo. He couldn't really figure out what
got in his head.
So we got in his head.
Live by the algorithm, die by the algorithm.
Agree. I think Bibi, there's theories about him that he's this grand mastermind of all these different
places. No.
I think he's chronically online.
He's a day trader. I totally
think
agree
he sees what people say about him on social media and he reacts to it. And I think that's, when you're the world leader, I think it's terrible. And that's why I love the president for not feeling the pressure from the chattering class on these issues, and he's not hearing it from the chattering. He's not hearing it. He's not taking the opinions of these paid influencers who want the war to continue.
I think that's great. But I also think, you need to synthesize your own opinions with those of the people you represent.
Sure, but
People
I don't
care about gas
think,
prices
but
more
I
than they
think
care
X,
about
I think
who cares about the Iranian nuclear program? Like, talk about getting in people's heads, convincing Americans that the Iranian nuclear program is more important than gas prices is like the craziest thing
I don't
that's
think
ever
X
happened.
pundits are a place where I don't think X is a place you can get the sentiment of the American people.
I totally agree with that.
So,
but public opinion polling you don't have to respond to every poll, of course, but like, what are Americans' priorities?
Where President Trump gets his opinions from is when he goes to Pennsylvania, where he went to a truck factory yesterday.
Well, Miriam Adelson also calls. So, like, that's bad. I'm sorry. It's bad.
And I think the president takes more direction from the patriots who showed up at the Pennsylvania rally yesterday for him than his donors.
Well, I think he always has. And that has been his great strength. And everyone would always make fun of Trump for doing these endless rallies and giving these endless speeches or whatever. But I always felt, and I didn't want to watch them all because there's just too many of them, but I always felt like it was important for him. It was like, he loved it for one thing, but it was good. He could feel the energy from the crowd and like their interest. You could engage people's interest by their response to your lines.
Yeah.
Super important exercise.
Well, I encourage you, if you like those, I encourage you to watch as many Trump rallies as you can, because they're not going to be here forever. And, actually,
I've been to a lot of Trump rallies.
One of the things I regret now in my life is Charlie and I both spoke at this, Charlie Kirk and I, we both spoke at this event in South Korea. I spoke before him and I was tired, the jet lag.
Yeah.
And Charlie was about to go on stage and he's like, should you stick around? Let me speak. I said, no, I got to get out of here. I got to go. I'm tired. And it was Charlie's last public speech. And I didn't, stick around to watch it because I was tired. So, same with Trump. Look, Trump is not perfect. I think he is the best that we've had, at least in my lifetime. And I think he loves the country. I think he loves the people of the country. I think he genuinely cares about the people that he goes out and he wants to represent in Pennsylvania and Wisconsin and Ohio and Florida. I think he genuinely cares. And do we have the greatest team around us in the Republican Congress and Senate? Absolutely not. But we have 2 years left of the Donald Trump experiment. And if the Democrats win, that experiment's going to be muddied by impeachments and bullshit. And so, I do encourage your audience to get involved in the primary process as much as they can. If they don't like the Republican who's currently in office, go get somebody that you do like. But we have 2 years left of the Donald J. Trump experiment in our country. And I think people are going to miss him when he's gone.
I want the last 2 years to be wholly focused on the United States and not on Netanyahu's concerns or Zelensky's, anyone else's concerns. Like, that's kind of your problem. And, we don't hate you, but like, deal with your own
we were having a discussion before this about Latin America.
Yeah.
Right? I think it's exciting with.
All right, chat. That's enough of that, man. What we gonna do, man? Yeah, that's enough of that chat, man. I guess we'll do a couple call-ins, man. I guess I'll open the phone lines up, man, for a second. We'll do a couple call-ins. All right, chat, we got the phone number pinned. Let me pull up the damn phone line. We'll take like 2 calls, maybe 3 calls. All right, chat, the phone lines are now open if anybody does want to call in. Get her thoughts and opinions. You said check my email. What you got going on in the email? All right, Sam one. Okay, Shell. Thank you for the donation, Shell. Thank you, Shell. I'm gonna have to check in when I get off. Oh, and Sam sent me a message about his Alan didn't send me a message yet about his bag. Let me message Sam back. got that there. Yeah, Alan didn't never miss it.
Call from
Dan.
What's going on, Dan? Where you calling from?
New Orleans.
What's going on, Dan, from New Orleans? I thought I recognized that area code.
That's it, man. Yeah, I just saw the topic about birthright citizenship, and I think people get a lot of different things conflated. I keep seeing people talking about Trump's parents were immigrants, and
Can you
that really
speak
has
up a
nothing
little
to do with
bit?
them. Sure. I said I saw that a lot of people are saying that Trump's parents were immigrants, but that really has nothing to do with the whole birthright citizenship discussion. This whole birthright citizenship discussion, it was never the intention of the founders that criminals be given the power to grant citizenship to their own children. I don't even understand how people think that could possibly be what it was meant to do. It was never meant for that, and I just don't. Where's the disconnect? What am I not understanding that some other people are thinking where they believe that's what it was intended to do?
I don't. Outside of people who are immigrants or have immigrant family, I don't believe that that's the only thing that they're looking at. They're looking at what's surrounding it. It's the messaging, it's the tone, it's the not just the way they're talking about this, not just the actual birthright citizenship, but it's this is a white country and pretty much everybody else needs to go or get in
Yeah, well,
line.
all that nonsense aside, because that's nonsense. Because I'm not saying people don't feel that way, but most people believe that if you want to come here and apply to be a citizen, you do everything you're supposed to, and you raise your hand and take that oath, at that moment, you are just as much an American as somebody who came over here on the ships and came over here as a pilgrim. There's no difference. You're an American at that point. But that has nothing to do with people who come here illegally with the intention of having a child on soil because they believe that they magically grant their child citizenship. To me, those are two different things. And you can be for immigration and say that if you come here and you immigrate and you become a citizen, you're just as much an American as anybody else. But the idea of just saying, well, no, I can just show up uninvited and, be 8.5 months pregnant, have a kid, and now the child is just a citizen. That is not what that was intended to do. You see the difference?
I definitely agree. Like I said, for me, the birthright citizenship is not a big thing. I mean, I don't really have any family that would where it would affect me, but I can understand for those who do have it how it's a very big issue to them because it's going to affect their immediate lives. And as far as the TPS thing with the Haitians and the Syrians, my only thing is that just be like it across the board. If America's doors are closed, let America's doors be closed completely.
Yeah, it shouldn't just be for one area. I agree with that. It shouldn't just be. It should be all or nothing.
But yeah, those are my stances on those issues. We also spoke about I'll give you where's the things that we covered today, Chad? Let me pull it up.
Yeah, 'cause I apologize. I just came on about 5 minutes ago.
Yeah, no,
So
that's cool. I got it right here. We covered the Texas. Texas is bringing in some of the Bible as part of their curriculum. I believe it's the 10 Commandments. I believe this is breaking the first state in the nation that's going to require the Bible to be in schools, and I believe some of it's going to be as part of the curriculum. They're not going to be forced to read the whole Bible, but I believe the 10 Commandments and the other pieces out of the Bible are going to be required.
As part of a class, or just to have it hanging in the school? Has that been stated?
Let's see.
And I only ask that question because some people don't like to hear this, but that's the basis of our society is the 10 Commandments. That's what we base our laws on. Now, I don't think that means that you need to put the Bible and force everybody to read it or say there's going to be a test on the scriptures But the Ten Commandments, in and of themselves, I don't really have a problem with.
Bible passages require reading in public schools. Let's see. This is what the article says. Texas Education Board votes to make Bible passages required reading. The Texas State Board of Education has voted to make Bible passages required reading in public school. The Education Board voted to pass a new required reading list on Friday by a vote 951. The list for the required literature includes sections of the book of Exodus for 5th graders, the Shepherd's Psalm for 7th graders, and more. The board discussions about the required reading list took place Friday morning and touched on issues related to the implementation timeline and the question of teacher autonomy in deciding which works should be required reading.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of that, the way they're saying that required reading. If they want to be able to offer a religion class that could be taken as an elective, I would not have a problem with that. But if it's going to become part of the required curriculum, whereas it's necessary for graduation, to me that's a different thing we're talking about.
Correct. It is groundbreaking. I do we listen to Trump, Ben Carlson, Dr. Phil, and all of them speak about it. And I believe was it Bessett that was up there talking as well? It might have been Bessett. But basically they were saying that the separation between the church and state was on one piece of one page out of 100 pages. And he's saying that the left just held on to that, and that America is built on Christianity, and that the left just used that separation of church and state as, to just control the narrative, to make it to where it wouldn't be allowed in schools.
I see. Well, and again, a lot of people might not agree with that, but
long story short, he's saying separation of church and state is a myth, and it was never meant to be implemented.
Well, if we're talking about the Establishment Clause, that's a completely different thing. There is no actual wording of separation of church and state. That's a concept that was created. It does say that the government shall not establish a religion, but there's nothing that says that it has to be an exact line and there can be no crossover. I don't know what your thoughts are on that, but from everything I've read on that, it's separation of church and state is a statement that's been tossed around. It can't be pointed to in any document. Correct me if I'm wrong.
No. I believe we're on the same page there. It just has been, the running narrative that, hey, there's no there is separation between church and state, but no, I can't think of anything to point to either. But this is groundbreaking. I just can't I wonder what it's gonna do, especially to the kids who are maybe another religion. Are they gonna get the religious exemption? I don't know.
Well, they certainly should. And I think that the messaging is I think you mentioned messaging. That's part of the problem, is that when they say we are a Christian nation, we are a nation that was founded on Christian principles. That does not mean that you have to be Christian to be an American, or that Christian is the only accepted religion here. It's just poor wording. It should be worded, we were founded on Christian values. Saying we're a Christian nation, I think, sends the wrong message. It's trying to get one point across, but it comes across as saying something completely different.
So what do you say to those who say the founding fathers weren't Christian?
That's a good question. I don't know. Is that part of the argument people are making?
Correct. Yes, they're saying they were mostly Freemasons or pagans, Protestants, deists, Protestants, Masons, atheists as well. They said nothing. They like the ones we speak about weren't Christian. At least all the ones that we reference weren't Christian.
Right. Well, I guess I'm looking at the fruit of their labor. How does the things that they said and implemented come across? It doesn't come across as atheist to me.
I don't know. They were kind of fleeing from the Catholic Church at that time.
Oh yeah, the Church of England, exactly.
Yeah, I just wanted to get your thoughts, pick your brain on that.
Yeah, well, I'm gonna be honest. I hadn't heard about the whole Texas thing. That was within the last day or so, or have I just been out of the loop for a while?
Yeah, that was within the last day or so that just
Okay.
came through. Also, there was parents who have been charged with the murder of their 7-year-old son because he weighed 255 pounds. He had never been enrolled in school. He had never been to the doctor. Not only were they charged with neglect, they also charged them with the unaliving of the baby due to neglect, I believe. Do you think they were overcharged?
Well, it doesn't sound like it. What angle were they coming at? Were they like didn't believe in doctors and say they were trying to? Were they?
They said they were
people
hoarders. They just said they were hoarders. The living conditions was
Okay, so
horrible.
this isn't. They're not trying to get off on some religious thing or say
They kind of look like
they
they look alike. It looks like some. I don't want to say. I mean, it looks like
I
incest.
know.
I don't know.
I get what
but
you're getting at, but
I
no,
don't
that's.
know.
I don't. I'd have to look at all the charges, but no, man. When you do something like that to a child, it would take a lot for me to consider them to be overcharged. I mean, that's horrible.
Correct.
I think that there's not much that somebody doesn't deserve when you do that to a child that you bring into the world. That's your responsibility. They depend on you, and when you do them like that, it's a special kind of evil. I don't really want to say what I think should happen to them, but it's not good.
All right. Yeah, Chad. He was 7 years old, 255 pounds, 4 foot 2 inches tall.
Never been to a doctor or a school. No,
Never been to school, and they also had
they
a
got nobody to
5-year-old.
blame but themselves on that.
They had a 5-year-old daughter as well. Neither one of these kids were documented. Nobody knew about these kids.
No.
And the landlord tried to come in one time to do like, I guess, a property check. They wouldn't let the landlord in, and they just put the rent on the porch. And I believe that's what tipped people off to something was going on.
And the kid died from what? Just health issues because he was so unhealthy?
I believe so. They said the kid passed away in the hospital.
Now that sounds like it's completely 100% on them. I mean, there's nothing. The child is 7. The child can't take care of himself.
Correct. Man, well, I appreciate you calling in from New Orleans, man. We're going to open the phone
man, thank you for taking my call.
Get 1 or 2 more calls in before we get off stream, man.
All right, man. Thank you.
All right, now. All right, chat, man. We got the phone lines open if anybody else wants to call in. What's up, Asha? What you got going on, Asha? Well, they look like brother and sister, G, though. They looked really similar. I'm not gonna lie. It looked like it might been some shit going on.
Call from. It's Shell.
What's going on, Cher?
Hey, Plug. How you doing?
Not much. I'm doing all right.
Good stream tonight.
I sure appreciate it.
So you had a lot of your bases covered as usual. I wanted to pick up where you left off about the baby. Yes. Okay. So, I know we've discussed this in the past, but I worked in pediatrics, and I want to give y'all some context here. Okay. This baby. All right. So for a normal, so I worked in pediatrics first, and then I moved over to primary care afterwards. So I worked with adults, okay, in primary care, but in pediatrics, we had patients from, of course, newborns all the way up to the age of 19, because we could treat patients age 19 if their insurance covered it, okay? So an adult, depending on their sex and, you know, the gravity of their, like, you know, stature, we would want them on average, let's just say, since this is a young or a child, okay, I'm sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself. For an average young man, okay, we want them anywhere from like 160 to 180 pounds.
Yeah, they say this baby was supposed to weigh 50 to 73 pounds at the most.
Yeah, at the most. So this baby weighed 1.5 times the average, okay?
Hell no, shit. The baby was supposed to, the 55, 50, if
No,
50,
no,
the
of
baby
an
weighed
of
three
an
times. Three
no,
times
no,
what it was
of the
supposed to weigh.
the average 1.5 times the average of an average adult man.
Oh, yeah, hell yeah.
Yeah.
That baby was like 4 times the size he was supposed to be, though.
Okay, so also for added context, for a child this size, their bone structure is going through a drastic change, okay? So if you have children, and Plug, I know you have children, there's many in the chat who have children. I know that sometimes you're like, we'll have children come in and the parents like, well, they're crying more, or they say they're hurting. Well, that's because sometimes for certain children, when their bones grow, it's painful. At that age, they start going through a transitional phase when their bones are growing, okay? This baby's bones were probably just, I mean, I'm surprised they didn't go through breaks. I guarantee you they had fractures, breaks, everything, and never saw a doctor, were never treated. And that's why before you even read off how this baby died, I'm like, there was added stress on every organ from liver to spleen to kidneys, the internal structure, not only on the bones of this child, but every single organ in this child. It was being suffocated. And that not only that includes the lungs, that also goes all the way up into the child's neck. Everything is being squeezed because he is 1.5 times the average size of an adult human male. My heart, like, I had tears streaming down my face when you were going through this story, because this was the patients I treated. My heart broke, and I had a feeling before I even knew the outcome of this baby that it was cardiac arrest, full cardiac arrest, because the heart can only take so much. Adults, whether it be women or men that are 250 pounds, have full cardiac arrest. The heart can only take so much when it's being squeezed. This baby's heart was still developing. It's tiny. It's itty-bitty.
Damn.
Yeah, it's tiny. It's developing. I mean, if you are curious and you're curious about the human anatomy, you can look up the size of a heart that size. It's not even the size of you're a woman's fist and a man's fist is different sizes, but it's not even the size of an adult fist. Maybe if it's a woman, you know, a man's fist is bigger.
No, for sure, Cheryl. How you feel about Chud the Builder getting exposed, man?
Can we skip that one, man? I'm traumatized by that story, dude. I mean, there's like stuff I cannot unhear. That one.
What about the birthright citizenship, man? Before we get you out of here and get the next caller, what about birthright citizenship? The Stephen
You know
Miller.
what? Birthright citizenship, I think that if it's 10 years, it's got to be 10 years. I think going down, like generation after generation, it causes the kind of chaos that we have in this country. You know, where it's okay, well, if it starts with the predominant, okay, we're going to give, let's just say, we're going to give the initial mom or the initial dad citizenship. Well, if it passes down to their generation, it's going to pass down to their kids, and that's what we have now. We have generations of American citizens. You know, I mean, one family alone, depending on how many children, grandchildren, great-grandchildren, great-great-grandchildren that they have, multiply that by millions of families. You know what I mean? And
So how do you feel about remittances then?
Remittances, I think, honestly, are going to be very difficult. It's going to be very complicated. I honestly think the only thing that we can really do right now is stop the bleed. I think if we want to do remittances at this point, it's going to cause more of a problem. I mean, right now, what we're doing, even just with getting, what we're doing with illegal immigration is complicated enough. And if we try to do remittances, I think that at some point I think it's going to be a problem if we try to do remittances. So at my point, if we stop it, we stop the bleed. Let's just leave it at that. That's about all we can do, I think, at that point.
No, most definitely. Well, all right, Shell, I appreciate you for calling in and thank you for supporting the channel. I seen your email. We're going to get one more call in here and then I'm going to call it a night.
Sounds good. All right, y'all. Have a good night.
Shell. Nice hearing from you.
Bye. You too.
All right, chat. We'll take one more call and then we're going to get up out of here, man. Alan, you didn't message me for the bag either, Alan. I was waiting on you to send me the email for the bag, but shit, I didn't get your email. I got the other guy's email. Asha, what you got going? You said, do I want yours? Do I want your what? All right, now, Michael. Oh, you was close, but not close enough, Nylan. You made some jerk chicken and went to sleep, Asha. You didn't even let that jerk chicken marinate. You just slapped that shit on there, huh? I bet it was still good. Oh, Chud got exposed by a tranny. Yeah, tranny just put out some pictures of her and Chud, or the tranny and Chud, and I don't know though. The text messages looked a little suspicious. Like Chud texting someone, babe. I just don't know. He might. I don't know though. Sounds a little crazy. Sounds a little crazy. Chud is tripping. Todd, I blocked you because you called in talking to me crazy, man. If you called in and talk, you get drunk, Todd. That's your thing, Todd. You get drunk and then you come back in here and it'd be cool, but you get drunk and you get to talking crazy, Todd. I always unblock you, but you was talking crazy on the phone one night. So if you blocked on the phone, you had to say something crazy to me, Todd. I don't know what to tell you. I blocked you out the chat, but on the phone, you be calling in drunk, man.
Call from
Alpha.
What's going on, Alpha? Where you calling from?
Yo, what up? Atlanta, Georgia, man.
All right, what's going on, Atlanta?
It's been raining a lot over here, actually. Really humid.
Okay, yeah, that's how it's been where I'm at as well. What's your thoughts and opinions on what we covered today?
Yeah, I see a lot of people in chat talking about birthright citizenship.
Okay.
We've been going back and forth about it a lot. I'd like to weigh in and give my 2 cents on that for sure.
Go ahead.
Yeah. Yeah, I just think it's crazy to even like humor the argument that the founders weren't Judeo-Christian, man. I think it's like so obvious. It's like you'd have to be really, really stretching history, all of recorded, documented reality, to even try to suggest that these guys weren't like that, and that that's not what they thought. Yeah, I see Long Bong in here still being a fucking idiot, trying to make this ridiculous argument, which comes from nothing. And the funny thing is I hear a lot of these regular quotes brought up of like specific founding fathers that said these really generic things that they try to pull out of context, right? And it creates this narrative. But I honestly, I find it hysterical that we even bother like humoring the argument that these guys didn't have that as their idea, or that, you know, the premise of even having like Muslim people or even like a large predominant Jewish community in the United States was even something that most of them would have been okay with at all. You know, and we got to understand the founding fathers were slave owners that grew hemp, right? And would brutalize people, oftentimes legally so. So I don't think, you know, I think this is it's a crazy topic that people have this weird idea that, oh, the founding fathers were atheists, or that they were this or that they were that. I mean, man, these were all Englishmen, colonialists that came and were deists and had to make declarations of faith that Jesus is God in order to even hold elected office in the first place. So it's, I just think it's crazy. I don't know what your thoughts are about that specifically.
My thoughts are that I believe that they were all, it was something behind all of it. I definitely believe that they pushed the Christian values, but I definitely believe that they were Freemasons and shit. I've heard from we've watched YouTube videos of what some of these ex-33 degree Freemasons said. So I do believe that they had some other shit going on too, you know. Also, I do believe that they would have allowed freedom of religion. I do believe that they would have allowed freedom of religion to a certain extent, for sure. So those are 2 points that you can push back on them.
Yeah, I would say that the only kind of freedom of religion that the founders ever sort of expressed that they would have intended should have been something that was predominantly okay for American society was denominational freedom inside the Christian faith, right? And the whole point of the separation of church and state, we got into this argument in chat too, was not to protect the state from the church's influence. It's not the purpose of those laws, not what their intention was when they were put down in history as some of our founding principles. These men were afraid and concerned that specific denominations of Christianity would end up basically a supermajority of representation in government. And so a lot of these policies were put in place so that the Protestants or the Methodists or whatever the hell didn't just end up taking over, and then their idea of what Christianity was going to proliferate through all of culture and just force out, you know, these other denomination sects of Christianity. I mean, I think all of this stuff is just so blatantly documented. I know about the Freemason connection. My mom was actually married to a guy who passed away many years ago, but he was a Mason, and I didn't know that when I knew him throughout my life. But, you know, I had my own father who's like my stepdad for a period of time. But when he died, man, at their funeral, these guys showed up in like hoods, bro. They had like flaming lanterns, and they did this crazy weird ritual after the funeral. I mean, I know that stuff is for real.
I'm just saying, did it feel Christian?
Oh, no, certainly not. No, I mean, that wasn't really a Christian ceremony for him in particular.
Okay.
It was like yeah, he got cremated, and anyway, it was definitely weird. They showed up and did some weird stuff, and he was like a regular lodge person, and yeah, I didn't know really anything about all that. It freaked me out, but I know that stuff is actually happening. You know,
I just
I know that there's some kind of connection.
back then they were big on like seers and going to see the seers and all of that shit too, and that's not really Christian either. I'm talking about the time period. Even when like how voodoo and kind of Catholicism blended, like in the last caller was, where was he from? New Orleans, and like in Louisiana. Like, so when I say I think they would be accepting, I'm taking all of that into consideration as well, like how they even blended the voodoo into the Catholicism. And this goes back to like what, 1700s.
Yeah, I was thinking the KKK as well, actually. Yeah, I mean there are a couple different, like, I guess I don't know what you call them, like radical activist groups that operated within that time period. I mean, it's hard to say that that just is a referendum on the way that they all thought or what the general consensus was. You know, I'm certain it's obvious to say that, yeah, there were definitely individuals back then that felt that kind of a way and likely did the kind of crazy stuff we see in like the Epstein files, where they're sacrificing children and doing all this crazy. That shit's probably been going on forever.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
But,
like a lot of these people that push these Christian values and say they're Christian, they play with this shit, man. They play with the woo. They go see the seers. They want to know what's in their future. They go get all the damn shit, and behind closed doors, they praying to the stars and moon. And that's just what I think was going on, honestly.
With the founding fathers specifically?
With yes, them included. Yes, to answer your question directly, yes.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Maybe you're right. I don't know. I could definitely say that based on the documents, my take is just pretty generic, standard Judeo-Christian principles that are like, yeah, this is the way we want to do things. We're a Christian nation. That's the way we do things. We believe that Jesus is God. That's the way our nation works, and we operate off a cultural principle that's fundamentally based upon that idea, right? And obviously there's, you know, blemishes. There's issues with every country and every kind of government.
I think it was more of a do as I say, not as I do type situation.
I mean, that's pretty Christian though, you know. And my grandfather was a Bible beating kind of guy, and he would say that exact phrase all the time. And he would say stuff like, children are meant to be seen and not heard, right? Mm-hmm. You hear that all the time from those Christian folks. So that's a pretty common sentiment. And in most cases, a lot of people feel it's backed by scriptural principles. But, you know, that's, you know, kind of getting deeper in the weeds there on that, yeah.
Okay. Well, I appreciate you for calling in. Anything else you wanted to cover? We did cover that 7-year-old baby. We covered Stephen Miller, his uncle coming out saying, hey, if it wasn't for immigration, you wouldn't even be here because our family immigrated from Belarus post 1900s. Also, we talked about Trump, the U.S. striking Iran back, so the ceasefire and what's going on with that. And we talked about the Epstein files. Todd Blanche has to either give good reasoning or unredact certain documents in the Epstein files by July 2nd, I believe, early July.
Yeah, I could definitely give my take on immigration. I have a lot of influence, specifically a lot of Latino influence in my life, because I work in contracting, and I have since I became a man, really in general. I'm in my early 30s right now, but so it's been like 15 years that I've worked. Most of that time was in the field, and 99% all the colleagues I've had in my line of work are Hispanic, right? Honduras, El Salvador, Venezuela, guys from Haiti would often be around. And dude, I've heard story after story after story. Talking about birthright citizenship, it's kind of a nuanced topic, and I think there's a lot to be discussed, but the most of the discussion in the room for the discussion is what to do with the dreamers, and like what we as a nation and as people of this nation are going to do with these individuals. I think that's really the only room we really have to discuss nuance and how it can be flexible with the immigration crisis. Otherwise, it just logically breaks down to like deportations. I mean, I have a sort of a soft place in my heart for these guys. I mean, I had a boss at one point one of these guys teaching me how to mix concrete in wheelbarrows, right? Classic hardworking Mexican guy. Went to school in Mexico City, went to high school, graduated. But he had been in the States for 20 years while I was working for him. He was just a manager at the company I was working at. But he had been in the States for 2 decades illegally with no driver's license. The guy was driving to work every day, driving home every day, never once got pulled over in decades, right? He's paying his taxes. Somehow, I guess he's went and bought a Social Security card from the black market, whatever. He's doing this stuff. He's just living. He's like one of the nicest guys I've ever known. Can speak full English, fluent, no problems. A manager. And it's like, when I think about that guy, his name was ironically Carlos, unironically. Shout out Carlson chat. When I think about that guy, I'm like, that guy's fucking American, you know? Like, I talk to him and he's chill. He stops by and sometimes we have like a beer every now and then. Like, this guy, I can't even imagine like shipping this guy out of the country instead of just writing him up some documents. So I think there's like wiggle room for the dreamers, but there's a huge push to like just say no, full stop. Like, if you came in, you were an anchor baby, the law states you should have never been here to begin with, so get out of here. And I see a lot of people saying that right now.
Correct.
I don't know what your take is on that, Plug. I don't know if there's a way for us to really deport the dreamers in general, other than like just stopgapping the loopholes. What's your take on that?
As a Black American, specifically from the South, my take is shit, we should sit this one out.
Like just in total, just completely like
Just
neutrality with it. Like,
I mean, just sit this. It's a sad situation. I definitely don't like seeing families being torn apart. But as a Black American, like, we just got to sit this one out, you know? Kind of like what was going on with when the mass deportations came. It's kind of like, just to be brutally honest with you, it's like, shit, as Black Americans, we have to understand what is going on in total. I don't understand how Black Americans are always the problem until help is needed. When you listen to the Castro lady that has the podcast, and when they were talking about mass deportations at the beginning, it's kind of like, a lot of these people a lot of these groups of people, not just the Latinos, but I mean a lot of these different groups, they not only do they not identify with Black Americans, they look down upon Black Americans. They talk about Black Americans and they have no respect for the civil rights movement. They have no respect for the groundwork that was put in. They tell their children not to marry Black Americans.
Sure.
So yeah,
I
think it's just time for the Black Americans to sit this one out.
Fair enough. Yeah, I got a lot of these guys in my life, man. And, you know, some of them, I look at them and I'm like, probably not a good idea that this person is here. But some of them, I look at them and like, you know, in the instance where they've got a fake Social Security card that they've purchased off of, I mean, it's a real card. But when they have bought black market identification paperwork, they actually can pay taxes. Now, it's not really them paying taxes the legal way, but say, you know, once they've got this identification, they can get W-2 paying jobs. And I've seen dozens of these guys get hooked up with actual pre-tax jobs where they're paying into Medicaid, they're paying into federal stamp. And I've seen these guys' checks. I know what they're making. These guys go in hordes to these gas station check casher places, dude. Everybody gets paid the same day. And then in a big mob, they all go down to the same gas station spot next to the taco place, right? And bam, they'll be in a big line, check cash. And the first place they go to after they get their check cash at this gas station, they go straight to Walmart. And they money order. Exactly. They money order half that shit straight down south first thing. And I've got this one buddy. There's a really guy who works under me now. He's Guatemalan. He's been here for forever. He refuses to learn English. And he's kind of an asshole, but he works really hard. His wife is down in Guatemala where the currency is like 18x for US dollar. They've got 3 houses down there. He's got like 3 kids and he's married. His wife and his 3 kids live in Guatemala. Multiple full-size homes down there, just off of the money he's shipping back down south, right? And the problem with that is millions of these guys are doing this. So it's like something's got to give. Like we can't just keep allowing this to happen. And I don't really know where the breaking point is. You know, I look at these guys and I wonder, like, what are y'all thinking? You know?
No, most definitely. My take on it is that with the birthright citizenship and specifically, I don't see how it's gonna affect the Black Americans, either good or bad. As far as America in general, of course, people are already neglecting to come to the country now. Like tourism is slowed down. It's actually grinded to a halt. You should see the deals they're throwing in Vegas right now. So I do believe it'll have long-term ramifications. Even when a new administration comes in, some of this damage will be irreparable.
Like, what loophole do you think? Like, how do you think they can close the loophole, the anchor baby loophole itself? Like, is it going to be a 14th Amendment thing, or do you think they're going to like introduce some kind of new legislation, or is it going to be like executive ordered in? Like, what's your take on that?
It depends on it'll all depend on how the Supreme Court rules on it. When we get the full Supreme Court ruling and they explain how they ruled on it, yeah, I'm sure they'll draft legislation that'll reference that Supreme Court case.
Yeah, fair enough. No, I see someone in chat. What is it? One Humanity. He said if they're not American citizen, they need to go. Their kids need to go. Their dog needs to go. If this guy you work with is so great, he would have applied and became a citizen. Yeah, bro. No, I'm not trying to say the guy who's been here for decades, refused to learn English, and ships half his money down to Guatemala is so great for doing that. That's the whole point I make. Right? Is that in fact that's not great. And that's the problem, right? And it's one of the reasons that these deportations are going to probably happen. But here's the issue: you're stretching the bar, right? And you're like, oh, well, let's just grab them, everybody, you know. And we've already seen like these ICE rates have already slowed down, bro. Like they stopped.
Tom Homan just said that they got 10,000 new ICE agents. I've seen a few people in my local area that have posted that they're working for ICE now, you know, telling the community, don't look at me any differently, shit like that. Also, with the Haitians, they're not, and the Syrians with their lost to TPS, I believe that they're not supposed to be actively like searching for them. It's just that if you get pulled over, you get caught running a red light, hell, your ass finna go back home.
Right. Right. All right, that makes sense, Floyd. I don't want to hold it up any longer, man.
All
Thanks
right,
for
man.
taking my call.
I appreciate you, Alf.
Have a good one.
All right. Yeah, chat. We'll take one more call and then I got to call it a night. But yeah, just my perspective on this, birthright citizenship thing is that I'm kind of indifferent. I'm kind of indifferent when it comes to the birthright citizenship. It's like if it doesn't change, I mean, I've been living life like this the whole time. If it does change, then it's kind of like, okay, yeah, I don't know. We'll take one more call though. You said, why is remittances a problem? A lot of these dollars aren't circulating. When we have remittances, those are dollars that could be circulating here. In a nutshell, if you want a very straightforward answer, all of that remittance money is money that could be circulating through our local communities and economies. And instead, it's going to bolster another economy. Some of these world economies are toast without remittances. With the number one thing that supports their economy is remittances. A few of these countries. So, I mean, if enough remittances are coming in to support your damn country, that's kind of crazy. It's kind of crazy. Yeah, I get it, Asha. Birthright citizenship is the 14th Amendment, but either way that they interpret that motherfucker, I'm FBA. Either way they interpret the 14th Amendment, I'm FBA. I don't know. Shit really ain't got nothing to do with me.
Call from
Next Okage.
What's up, next?
Hey, what's up? Am I on air?
Yeah, you on air.
Oh, te tengo la aire. All right.
Now, how
All
you
right,
feeling
well,
about it?
man, I was listening to man talk about his coworker, and I have similar stories. That's what I actually wanted to do. I wanted to push on the same narrative in like a story format, because I understand that most people who feel the way that they feel, like you, Plug, you're not going to give that up, because that honestly, it's part of your identity. You understand? And just like how what I'm, you know, but I like to give empathy. I think the story mode gives a lot of empathy.
Okay,
You know?
no, most definitely.
Yeah. Well, once upon a time I was in jail, and long story short, I got a bunkie, and the bunkie was from Mexico, if I'm not mistaken. I'm very sure, and it was his second or third time getting caught, and then they throw him in Mexico. But now that he got caught again, now it's a charge, and now he's got to stay in jail for 6 months before they deport him. So we're keeping him for 6 months, and then we deport him because there's got to be some type of punishment.
Correct. He had to serve what he did here, and then he got whatever. So he probably did.
He had no crime. His crime was being illegal. But since it was the second time being illegal in Florida, they'll just, that's your charge. Your charge is, this is my second time getting you. That's a criminal.
Not to cut you off, next, but I had a amigo partner I was locked up with. It was like his second or third time coming. He had a domestic charge, so he sat in jail until he got till he signed for his time on the domestic, which he ended up getting time served because he had been in the county so long. And then they put a ICE hold on him. ICE had 48 hours to come get him. They for sure came and got him, and then he had a $10,000 ICE bond, which he said, nah, I'm just gonna get deported. I'm not gonna bond out because I can pay, like, I think he said it was like $2,000 to get back over here at the time. Like, yeah, exactly. He was like, shit. He was like, I'm gonna just go. He's like, I ain't been home in 8-9 years. I'm gonna just go visit my family, get some good food and shit. I'll be back. He had a store and everything. Exactly. But nah, go ahead, finish your story.
Well, this man that I'm talking about, he prayed like, you know, like a Muslim. Like, he just stayed praying with his rosary beads. He's Catholic, but you know that he prayed very hard, and he was extremely Catholic. And he was a very good man, and he fed me and all that stuff. And, you know, I could speak Spanish, so, you know, that was cool too. But, so I asked him, like, so you going, so what are you doing here? He's like, hey man, you know, I do construction on the road, you know, and my boss, you know, he pays me, and he pays for the truck. Basically, he pays his whole identity. Like how some people have a social security, a lot of employers will be your Social Security. They'll be like, that truck is mine, that house is mine, everything's mine, but it's yours too. And it happens a lot with Mexican people who bring in other Mexican people, and then it provides a community, something that us Americans lack, and maybe we should learn something from it. You know what I mean? But instead of learning, we hate it. But that's not my point. My point is, he has spent 20 years going back and forth from America to Mexico, getting kicked out and coming back, getting kicked out and coming back. He spent a lot. He has, at that time, he had teenagers, and he had a wife. All of them were American because his kids were born in America. His wife eventually was able to get citizenship, but once upon a time, she was illegal too. Now these kids are grown. Yes, he doesn't speak English, but he's the first generation. His kids speak English. And he's built our roads, literally the roads you drive on. This man's be building them. You understand? For the last 20 years. So what is he going to do? He said he told me, well, I'm going to go back to Mexico, and I'm just going to come right back. I mean, what else can I do? This is where I am. This is who I am. You understand? Like, he's very Mexican.
Right. So
but he's American too, even if he don't speak English. This is his life. This is the reality. This is the Brahmin.
Okay. Do you think he would give his daughter to a black man? Yes or no?
What does that have to
question. I answered the question.
I didn't find him very racist, but I'm pretty sure most people are
would
very
he give
racist
his daughter to a black man? I'm just asking. Do you think so?
I didn't ask him, will he give his daughter to a black man, sir? I didn't ask him that.
Okay.
But he was associated with black people in jail, but like that's different from how you feel about bloodlines. But I bet you most Latinos, just like most white people, just like most black people, yeah, they'll say, hey, I want to stick to my own race or whatever. But then once it does happen, because, people mingle, what you going to do, deny your grandkid? Now you're going to have a bunch of Blasian-ass babies. That's what's going to happen. Every Blasian person, their parents told them not to fuck with the black guy.
I'm just going to be honest with you. I haven't seen it happen in the black community as far as black grandparents denying their baby.
Sir, I've been punched in the back of my head for being white. I've been kicked out of people's houses for being white.
Okay, now that's your experience. I'm saying, in my experience, I haven't seen that. But I have seen a lot of people being disowned for bringing a black baby home.
Disowned?
Disowned, like shit you done. It's over.
Yeah, that's some white people shit. Yeah, I've heard of that once or twice.
They're not just white people; it's other communities as well.
Asians, really, Asians.
I'm talking about communities.
Do you know how they roll?
They share the same skin color as me too.
They like 20 deep. I've never seen a Mexican. I've never seen any other minority. Period. I've never seen a minority. Period. I've heard of those stories with white people that I do remember right now. I can remember their faces.
Man, I've seen it happen with Latinos, bro. Listen,
I ain't never heard that with anybody.
I've seen it with Latinos. I've seen it with other.
As a Latino, I can tell you they talk a lot of shit. There's a lot of racist Latinos that talk a lot of shit in the back doors.
They have a
but
term
the same
for
racist
it. It's
Latino that'll talk that shit.
You know what it's called? They got a term for it. La Hermana Rosa, however you say it. The betterment of the race. They mean don't go get with no niggas.
I mean, just remember that your perspective is coming from Wakanda.
I mean, no, this is you gotta understand. You gotta understand that I've lived this life. Next, like I have Latinos in my family. I've went through seeing Latinos get I've went through Latinos getting disowned by the family because black babies came in. I mean, because the black babies came in. I've heard the jokes about letting the babies hang in the closet and shit because they were black. Trust me.
All right, I do believe you. Okay.
Like, it just is what it is.
Yeah, it is what it is, but that doesn't mean that, like, so are we going to promote this pattern forever? And the most evilest
I'm saying that we're going to sit this one out. That's all I'm saying is shit, we just going to sit this one out. I'm not saying that.
What does that even mean, though?
That means that shit, we're not going to hold no signs. We're not going to go out there and march. That means if If the birthright
No, that's
citizenship
fine.
is,
That's
hold
what
on.
we're all supposed to do.
If the birthright citizenship is overturned, we're not going to go outside and act a nut and tear up the city like everybody expects us to with Summer of Love. That's what sitting this one out means.
I don't know why. I would be surprised if any cities got turned up except for like LA.
Over the
except for,
14th
like,
Amendment?
Latino
You don't
places.
think motherfuckers is finna tear this bitch up? You don't see how they tore that shit up when they was first doing the mass deportations? They finna tear some shit up.
Because that's when you start touching people. That's what I'm saying. When the policy changes, I would be surprised if policy change would make fire. What makes fire is when you start touching people. That makes fire. And you saying you want to stand out of it politically, that's completely fine. This isn't something for signs. But standing out of it politically, staying out of it is not the same as saying, I want it to happen, or touching somebody. You know what I
didn't
mean?
say I want it to happen. I'm saying, like, if it's going to be ruled on by the end of this week. If it doesn't change, if everything stays the same, everything stays the same.
Okay, how about this one, Blood?
Hold on. If it's overturned, it still stays the same in my world. Nothing changes for me.
Yeah.
I'm just being honest.
Is this a voting point either way?
Yes, of course. This is policy. Now we can
Would
go.
you rather?
Go ahead.
Would you rather vote for, if you could vote, and also the chat, think about it, thought exercise. If you could vote, would you vote to go kidnap all of the Latinos or all of the people who weren't born here and actually physically go and touch 20 million people and kidnap 20 million people?
No, I'm not one of those
displace
people.
them?
Even when the mass deportations was going on, like, I'm not one of those people that was just out there. You seen how I acted when they shot Renee Good and Alex Pretty, man. Like, I'm not, like, I understand. That's why I said the jails, like in Arkansas, your ass go to jail, your ass getting deported. You run a red light, your ass getting deported. You steal from the store, your ass getting deported. It just is what it is. But when it comes to going into these neighborhoods, tear gassing around the kids and all of that, that's crazy. And I've said that.
I think we have an evil culture as America, as Americans, and I look as myself as an American, you as an American, I believe our culture is broken. And part of it is we are quick. I got the police called on me over a non-emergency where the police were like, what the fuck? That's like the culture. And then when the police get bad, then they want to start touching people. Just as easily as people call cops nowadays for anything, just as easily as people think that it's child abuse to have your kid outside without a phone, it's just as easy for these cops to be touching people. And that's really where the problem is when it gets tangible. You know what I mean? Like, people can be racist and you stay over there and I stay over here. That's all cool. But then when people start touching people, so to the chat more so, let's start voting as Christians. We want to be a Christian nation. The first rule is just don't be touching people. You understand? And then they'll say, oh, well, you're taking my jobs. We all know that that's false. How can I take your job? Because if I take your job, then I'm spending money for the same things you're spending money on. That means we need two things. That means somebody needs to build it twice. That means somebody needs to have that job. So it's impossible to take a job. And if the other guy gets undercut for the pay, that has everything to do with the owner who's undercutting the employees. It has nothing to do with the person who's helping our GDP grow in a very economic way. If you want a bigger GDP, then you have to have more popping, in a very economic way. And in a very economic way, immigrant cannot take your job. All immigrant can do is create more supply and more demand. All he can do. And the remittance is healthy for the American dollar. It is extremely healthy for the American dollar. The same reason why we want Chinese people to buy treasuries is the same reason why we absolutely want our dollar to be remitted to South America. It keeps our dollar strong.
Okay. Man, I appreciate you for calling in, Next giving me some pushback, hearing what I had to say. I think Top Cat wants to call in and give his take on it. I do appreciate you, Next, for calling in and always just showing up, man. I seen a couple of those videos you sent me in Discord. I hadn't had a chance to sit with them, but I appreciate you for pouring into the channel, man, and just showing up.
Hell yeah, thank you. Thank you too. Thank you for your service, for real. All right, y'all have a good night.
You too.
All right.
All right, Top Cat, man, we waiting on you to call in, Top Cat. Poet King says, ending birthright citizenship is a slippery slope. A slippery slope for who? Poet King. All Americans. I said that it was going to kill tourism. Ending birthright citizenship is going to kill tourism for sure. It's going to kill tourism, bro. Our tourism is already down at its lowest point. Changing the 14th Amendment is going to kill tourism. It's going to kill it. Where is Top Cat at, man? Let me find his Top Cat number, bro. I done forgot Top Cat number, too. It's like, all right, I remember what it started with. Top Cat, you ain't called in a minute. Dang. There you go.
Hello?
Top Cat.
Hello?
What it do?
What up, what up?
Not much. I seen you said, what was you hearing, man? What you got to say about the convo? We want to hear your thoughts, man.
I'm glad you gave me a call back, Plug. What up, brother? I'm way out here. I'm on the road right now with this damn toy hauler behind me. I just finally popped in late, man, and I was just hearing what he was saying. You know me and Next Boogie a little bit, but that's some bullshit, man. Like, yes, they can take jobs. Yes, they can displace people. That's what the world is all about, is displacing other. It's called another point of colonism, you know what I mean? So I'm not really feeling that. And I'm not saying that impartial. You know, I'm in California. I got plenty of, you know, Hispanic and Latino friends, you know what I mean, and relatives and people that I deal with quite close, you know what I mean? Thank you, baby. Quite close. I deal with them, you know, and I've matriculated people. I've went through the process of getting them into America and, you know, getting them into the system and helping them become, you know, naturalized citizens. And I've seen the people that have struggled and worked through it, and they've built stuff back in their own, you know, in their home nation, and they've built stuff here. And I can say, if you can go through it and do the things that you need to do, and you do the things that you need to do, you know what I mean, then I can appreciate that. But I don't appreciate somebody sitting here and they're saying they're not even going to assimilate to any part of American culture, and then somebody saying that they built the streets here. No, you didn't build the streets. You took advantage of the work of building the streets. Just like the people from here that went to the, you know, there was a bunch of people from, you know, California and Nevada and different places that went and helped build the Panama Canal. Are you going to say that they built Panama?
I'm just going to be honest with you, man. Now, everybody wanted to downplay slavery. Everybody wanted to downplay civil rights. And here we are. They trying to interpret the 14th Amendment, and now motherfuckers scratching their head looking around.
And it's another point, Plug, is what I'm saying is this is what I'm saying about the sitting it out situation, because I haven't got to that, but everybody keeps saying, how many things has everybody else set out and took advantage of? You only hopped on a damn, you know, train when it was good for you, when it meant something as a benefit for you. It wasn't like nobody was there when all the terrible shit was going on, but when it meant something to you. Chavez came after he rode that train. Everybody rode that train when people was getting their ass knocked out and knocked down, and women was getting bit by dogs, and all these different terrible things was going on from the early 1900s to the 2000s. Nobody was rolling with them. You know what I mean? When we all in the same gang things was going on, that wasn't happening for the other gang members. They were still shooting us. It was never a point except for people hopping on the end of the train. And then now that we have a point to be in solidarity for ourselves, You know what I mean? Everybody has a problem with that. So why should we jump in the fight when nobody jumps in for us? You only jump in when it's your benefit.
I see Nayland says they will take away the 14th and end civil rights. I'm going to be honest with you, man. There really ain't much to interpret with that civil rights shit. Go ahead.
Yeah, and I mean, and then that's what the thing is. It turned from human rights into civil rights. The reason it turned into civil rights is because they weren't accepting the point of human rights and the point that we weren't considered humans. So all these different things are coming from the sacrifice of a certain people, and everybody else usurped it. I put something up in the Discord earlier showing, you know, from the neighborhood and area that I'm from, which was predominantly, you know, it changed over time, but it's, you know, now it's predominantly Hispanic and Latino.
Man,
and I love myself.
I gotta answer this question. Fish Guru posed a great question, and I have to answer him directly. Fish Guru said, if you have that mentality, no one will stick up for anyone ever. You are absolutely right, Fish Guru. But at a certain point, Black Americans have rolled with damn near every cause. Every cause that has came through, Black Americans have been there. And it's gotten us, you know, after civil rights, it's really gotten us nowhere. It's really gotten us nowhere.
And that's exactly what I'm saying.
So we gotta be able to show what our voter bloc can do. Black Americans have to show that, hey, our vote is not just a for sure vote anymore. We have to have the tangibles. Show us what the tangibles are.
Now, this is what I'm talking about, Plug. Now, see, this is what I'm saying. In that wordplay that just happened right now, nobody completely understands what's going on. When she just said nobody would feel, well, there was only one people around that were the nobodies. And that was us, and we stood with everybody. We were the nobodies, the uncountables, the untangibles. We were the ones that always got displaced and pushed into the nobodies stood with everybody. Now that the nobodies have a point to stand in solidarity, everybody gets mad off of us being able to say, hey, we don't have to have nothing to do with it like y'all don't have nothing to do with it. When the Negro Leagues got messed up, when all these different things were going on and we were being taken advantage of for our vote, nobody stood next to us unless it meant something for them. If there was something for us in the Housing Act, okay, yeah, you're going to go stand with us because you're not included in it. When there's something about jobs, you'll go stand with us because you're not included in it. But when it comes to the cultural understanding, when it comes to the historical understanding, when it comes to treating another person like a human being, you still are running by those same old caste systems. Like, people get upset with those situations that go down in South America and stuff, but they still run by the caste system. You guys are still holding on to those cultural situations that put us in a standing where we cannot even walk with you or be equal with you. But when it comes to what we fought for in this country, everybody comes over here and they jump right on it, and they'll push us right out the place, and we'll live with you, we'll sit with you, we'll take on your culture, we'll love you, we'll do everything with you. And then when it comes down to it, when it comes to the PINTA, the penitentiary, when it comes to jobs, when it comes to housing, y'all will turn your back on us and treat us like nothing. And I mean, I love my fellow.
This is what I'm gonna say though. Hold on. All right, Top Cat. Next says that this sounds like victimhood and tribalism. I'm not gonna say victimhood. What I will say to the tribalism point is America's tribalistic. Like let's cut it out. You got Chinatown, the Mexicans have their side of town, you got the Haitians have their side of town, the blacks is cross the tracks, the ghettos and shit. And when you go talk to your city councilman, what's your city councilman doing? They're running for your district, right? They're trying to fix your district, right? So it's gonna be a sense of tribalism by default. We didn't draw these lines here. We don't X people out of the community. We don't have a Chinatown. Y'all say we don't even have stores and shit. So how can we have a damn, you know? So these are the things, these are the tangibles that I'm talking about that we have to hold our city leaders accountable for. And we cannot do that unless we have a strong voter bloc. And it's not doing it. See, a lot of people look at it as FBAs and Black Americans doing things in spite of other groups? No, we're doing it for the benefit of our groups, because a lot of these things that people put on us, like go fix your community, clean up your community. Well, what about the municipal fraud? Where's the money? Where is it going? Who is actually representing these districts? Well, it's not our people.
Yeah, yeah. And I'm gonna tell you this, Plug. I am tired of that sucker shit, man. I'm just being we after dark, right? So I'm tired of that sucker shit,
No,
man.
don't ruin the live. Now we
I'm
damn
not
near,
I'm
hold
not gonna
on, we
go in
damn
like
near
that.
3 hours in.
I'm
Do
not
not
gonna
make me
ruin
delete this.
it. I promise I ain't gonna ruin it. I'm just that's as far as I'm going is this sucker shit. It's sucker shit. Because every time somebody speaks about something, it's got to be, oh, the victimhood or whatever. I'm tired of people telling me if I get socked in the mouth, I'm tired of a person telling me that socked me in the mouth how I should feel about it. I don't care what you think. You're the one that socked me in my mouth. Yeah, you're gonna say I'm a victim because you know I'm the victim because you're the one that did it. You don't tell me how to feel or how to speak about me getting socked in the mouth. And everybody uses that excuse now. And that's the last thing I'm going to say on that, Plug. I ain't going to ruin them. But I get tired of hearing somebody tell somebody who's got the person that got mistreated how they're supposed to act after they get mistreated. How about you make it equal? Let me sock you in the mouth, and then you tell me how you going to react to it and how to feel about it. And to you in them shoes, you don't call me a victim. How about you just listen to the facts? And that's all I got to say, Plug.
They said the co-host just proved the point by calling himself a victim. They said Nick's checkmated you, or they checkmated you because you called yourself a victim. I'm gonna let you respond.
I never said I was a victim. I said I got socked in the mouth.
Damn,
and
my
now
camera died.
my reaction doesn't make me a victim. I'm just stating the facts. This is what happened. Everybody else says it's a victim. I'm resilient. That's what they're not saying. You're resilient. What happened after that? This is what happened. I'm telling you what happened then. What did I do after that? What have we done after that? How many times out of victimhood have we shined through every single thing? Nobody's speaking on that, so they can checkmate these, and I'll be quiet because I'm not going to end nothing. But you can checkmate these. I'm resilient. I can get socked in the mouth and get the hell back up and make a wonderful life. Tell me which other cultures is doing that. I'm done.
Oh my god! All right, Top Cat. We spoke about the baby too, the 255-pound 7-year-old baby, 255 pounds, 4'2", 7 years old.
Wow, where's this child from? It's in America.
Yeah, the parents got charged with murder. They said the child had never been to the doctor, never enrolled in school. The child, it was 2 of them, 2 kids, and never on the books. The child passed away in the hospital, I believe.
Oh my, wow. And they deserve everything they got. They deserve it. I mean, what are you trying to do? What are you trying to do to a human being when you see something? What are you trying to do? Do you know how much strain that is on a heart that young? You know how large the heart on that child have to be to pump blood through that amount of flesh? And they can't say it's an amount of ignorance. They can't say it's any of that in the world that we live in now. It's too much information around for them to put a child through that type of situation, man. So they deserve everything they got.
All right. That's pretty much everything we covered in the show, other than that, Chud the Builder. Then we covered
What happened to him? He didn't get off, did he?
No, they say a trans came out and said, dropped some pictures and shit and some text messages saying that she was the trans had slept with Chud on last year. Said Chud said the trans said he fucked Chud's thighs, allegedly.
Well, I can see why he has issues then, man. He got some problems. I guess she must have turned it. There's another reason why that mustache was turned up. It might have had a couple.
I got this in the title too, Chad. I forgot. I put GTA 6 will ruin people's lives. How do y'all feel about that, man? GTA 6 has already made $3 billion in pre-orders in the first 24 hours.
Yeah, man. That addiction.
I don't think
terrible.
it made $3 billion. They fucking lying. It ain't made that much. 38 million. 38 million is what they're reporting GTA made in pre-orders.
Addiction is terrible in any manner. You know what I'm saying? Addiction is terrible in any manner. You know what I mean? So I've been seeing this. I've dealt with it with my own kids. I even deal with it to a point in myself where I have to look at it with just scrolling. It's terrible. So I can't imagine what that's doing. I don't think it made that much money, but I know it's terrible.
Man, I remember playing GTA. I had to be in like the 3rd grade, and this was Grand Theft Auto 3, and it was the first Grand Theft Auto to where you could pick up the hose and get some.
Yeah.
And I was like, I think I had to be like I wasn't in 3rd grade because I remember Grand Theft Auto 2. I had to be in like 5th grade, man. I had to be in like 5th grade, and I was riding around GTA picking up hoes, man, pulling them in the dark spots and getting some. That's crazy, bro. I was like 11. That's crazy.
Yeah. What are you feeding a young mind before it even has a distinction?
Nah, it wasn't San Andreas. It was Grand Theft Auto 3. It was Grand Theft Auto 3. I remember which one it was. It was Grand Theft Auto 3.
And they used to have the one.
Hey, Preemie said I always get my money back. Hey, you fucked up, Preemie. Oh my God. I remember getting the money back too. Oh,
You going into the Italian spot, man. I remember all that. I'm gonna even say before it even got that raunchy, man, I remember playing Mortal Kombat and Killer Instinct, and after school, man, it was an obsession, bro. We and the homies would play until 11 o'clock.
Y'all don't remember Grand Theft Auto 2 was like from the top of the world. Like it wasn't a 3D. You didn't get to walk in the world like this. You was looking like on top of the map. Grand Theft Auto 2, you was looking on top of the map.
Yeah, man, that stuff was crazy. I stopped playing it, man, all those different games, especially when I had kids and stuff. And I watched some of my older kids play it and stuff, and it's crazy, man, how everybody is trying to recreate life and make sure that there's a matrix form to our life rather than actually enjoying the oxygen that they breathe. They're assuming everything and don't even appreciate the clean air that they breathe on a daily basis. Everything that we're looking at and saying that we in, trying to create all these different alternate realities before we appreciate the reality that we in. And I see that that's very dangerous, bro. It's very dangerous, the life we're living right now. What was that movie? It was some movie where the aliens came down, and I think it was Tom Cruise or somebody in it. And the aliens were, messing the world up. And then it was just a disease that ended them. They did like the common cold killed all the aliens in like a week or something. I forgot the name of the movie, but it's like a justice of life that I think that we don't consider every day. Like there's simple things that will tear down these mass creations that we think that we have. Just like all this warfare, we got all this stuff. And on October 7th, they came in on parachutes and basically damn house fans and tore things up and made an Iron Dome look like nothing. There's simple things about life that tear down all these complicated situations that we think that, like we could actually build these systems of life that we're talking about. It would be so hard for you to create it to a micro understanding. So we need to respect life a lot more and respect each other a lot more.
Nah, most definitely. Top Cat, man. We finna get up out of here. It was a great show. I'm finna go to sleep.
All right, man. Hopefully I didn't bite nothing and make nothing bad. I'm trying to behave myself, brother. I appreciate you calling me and putting me on, brother.
Nah, I appreciate you for calling in, Top Cat, man. Enjoy the rest of your night.
All right, brother.
All right, chat, man. Yeah, it's 2 in the morning. It's a wrap. It's all with. Be sure to subscribe to the channel. Be sure to hit the like button on your way out, man. We'll be back live on tomorrow night. Maybe not tomorrow night. We might not be live tomorrow night. I'm not gonna cap. We might not. But yeah, double tap the screen, shut the live out, and if we're not live tomorrow night, we'll be live during the day. All right, chat. Good night.